welcome back, everybody, to another great episode of Banter on the Rocks. We got John back this week. Thrilled that he's back. It's Monday, May 11th. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the show, of course. And to everybody who tunes in each and every week, thank you for all the support. Make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button so you're here for each and every weekly drop. And on today's episode, we're going to be diving into our latest banter takes, which are going to take us across several different topics. And then after that, we'll dive into some NBA talk. Middle of the playoffs, we just had NBA draft lottery. So we'll be recapping that and, of course, much, much more. And as always, we're bringing you real talk, honest reactions, and plenty of banter along the way. All right, so we'll get into it here as we do each and every week. And kicking things off, we're going to go with our banter drink of the week, what we're sipping on, why we chose it, how it's fueling our energy for today's show. I was at Trader Joe's about 30 minutes ago. They had a nice little six-pack sale on Made West Hazy IPA.
Okay,
I know I'm super
nice.
boring. Got that. But I did. I'm just compiling way too many beers in my fridge right now. I tried a Mexican lager
Okay.
from Tarantula Hill, which they're selling at my local Trader Joe's here,
Oh,
which
nice.
was really good as well.
Okay.
Only had one so far since last week, but really tasty. It's something different too. So it's been hot. It's nice.
Yeah. No, it's been warm, so that's good. I am sticking to water. I was out last week with the stomach bug. So
Hmm.
recovering, after my little quick trip to New York, to for some of that Met Gala. Um,
It's a round
But
table.
yeah, the round table. But yeah, no, just sticking to water today, trying to just rehydrate, get all those vitamins. I've done a lot of Taste Salud, like I say, another plug for Taste Salud. When you have the stomach bug, that's a lifesaver, man.
Yeah, yeah. Stomach bug, got to rehydrate. I was thinking about that. I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of Taste Salud ads across social media the last like week or so, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guarantee you, John's downing that right
Oh
now.
yeah. I'm almost out. I'm gonna have to order a few more pretty soon.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it makes it all the better,
It
somewhat.
does. It does. But yeah, but that's our drinks of the week. Um So how we'll get started? It's something we've always done. I don't know if you went over it last week, Tim, but the Wolfpack check-in, your little Wolfpack check-in. We know what's been
Yeah.
going on, but I called it a little soccer check-in because you are a soccer
Mhm.
fanatic now, a
Oh
football
yeah.
fanatic. So, and did you keep up with the Wolves this
Um,
weekend?
I did. I did. I think I started with your anything but the truth scenarios there that were just I had way too much fun with those. Uh, way too much fun. And I think I finished off the episode with Wolves updates. And
Okay.
I gave a shout out to the Wolverhampton Women's Club team
Okay.
that did the opposite of relegation, got promoted. So they're back in
Nice.
the EPL. So I did say, of course, congratulations to them. My hopes were up for a second that
Hmm.
like, wow, somehow we did not get relegated. But then, news came out. It was a women's club team. Freaking
Yeah.
awesome. Big props to the women's club team.
Yeah.
Big accomplishment there. But yeah, after that, not too much more to talk about last week. But I know that there's been some action this week. I know you sent me a clip of Arsenal
Yeah.
winning, right?
Yeah, our Arsenal had some big wins. They got their Champions League win against Atletico Madrid. So they're on to the Champions League final on in the end of the month. I think it's May 30th.
Okay.
Or 31st. So they got that. And then they won their EPL game. They were going against West Ham. 1-0 win. If you watch some of the highlights, because I was watching it because I was curious, because I predicted Arsenal wins that game against West Ham, they're winning the league. And from the
Hmm.
looks of it, I think they're going to win the league. I wanted to see West Ham almost tied it up. VAR took away a goal, unfortunately. It could go both ways. There's a lot of arguments. Check TikTok. that you could go into this big rabbit hole on Arsenal in this last game, but
Hmm.
with West Ham losing, the other interesting thing, and that's why I will say maybe it's a little rigged, is with West Ham losing, Tottenham is now out of regulation and they're still in the EPL. So I was like, I don't know,
Hmm.
there's some collusion sounding like, you talked about the Dodgers being a little fishy. I smell a little
Yep.
fish over there, overseas in England.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I heard the news of that today as well, where that
Yeah.
Arsenal win then you know inadvertently, quote unquote,
Hmm.
allows Tottenham to, of course, stay up. And that's been big
Yeah.
talk where this big multi-billion-dollar stadium, this really expensive
Yeah.
team, this club can't go down. Blah blah blah. If they do, they sell the team. Big mess. Of course, it's much easier for a team like the Wolves to go down.
Yeah.
F them. Yeah, screw you. EPL, whoever's in control, the higher ups. Don't know what you're doing, but yeah, seems fishy. I'll call it out,
Hmm.
along with you. A little fishy. Something's going on over there. It's not just fish sticks. It's something
Nah.
else in England. So yeah, don't like it. I'm sure Armando's thrilled though, with
Uh,
Arsenal winning.
yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah.
Armando's thrilled. A lot of Arsenal fans are. I don't know if I sent you some videos of Arsenal fans, but man, the one thing I was going to bring up, Arsenal fans are some of the most cocky fans right now, especially with them being up. And like
Yep.
I say, likelihood, I give them a 95% chance of winning the league. Champions League, we'll see, but there's still a chance that they fumble all this and they lose both. And if they lose both, this is going to be the most epic fail by Arsenal. But when I've seen Arsenal fans recently, and like I say, I might have a lot of Arsenal fans coming after me and probably like ready to attack me. But man, they remind me NFL. I compare them to the Cowboys. That fandom,
Mm.
always thinking they're winning. They haven't won for 22
So
years.
it's our year
It's our
every
year.
year.
Every year they think they're the best team. But we'll see. They remind me of the Knicks. Um,
Okay.
Knicks, same thing. The fandoms. And like I say, I love watching Knicks fans' reactions. We'll
Hmm.
talk more about them. Um, but the one thing, man, Knicks and Arsenal win championships this year. Be ready, world. It's going to be a disaster everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. No, it sounds that way, John.
Yeah.
Crazy. Because if you get any mix of Dallas Cowboys and New York Knicks,
Yeah.
yeah, you have cocky, but then you also have like, that will take to the streets.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't grease those street lights,
Yeah.
you're gonna have some climbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, what an environment. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to be sure to get on that FYP, algorithm of
Yeah.
Arsenal and what they're gonna do. If they win or lose, I think
Yeah.
regardless, I want to see, they're gonna, no matter
Hmm.
what, probably take to the streets. It'll be mighty interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's setting up until through the end of the month, correct? You said May
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah. May 30th, the Champions League. I think Arsenal has two Premier League games left. Man City has three. But Man
Okay.
City, like I say, they fumbled it. They tied 2 weeks ago, which really took him out of the chase and left it in Arsenal's hands. So that's what I'm
Mm,
saying. Most likely with who Arsenal's facing, I think they face Burnley and some other team. It should be pretty guaranteed wins.
yeah.
Um, but we'll see because the other thing I was going to bring up with soccer talk, another big injury to a star
Mm,
that was supposed to be at the World Cup, Nico Williams for Spain, sounding like it could be a pretty bad injury.
mm.
And like I say, Spain I think is probably the number two favorite next to France. So it's like our players or teams going to start resting their stars to avoid you know, injury because Arsenal has Declan Rice and I think Saka, who if you lose any of those two players, England will struggle in the World Cup.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, those injuries, yeah, setting in, we're getting so close to the World Cup. How brutal it must be, for a team to try to reformulate everything
Hmm.
now. And then also for the player,
Hmm.
himself wanting to compete. You're getting so close to what you're thinking about. Of course, you want to try for your club team, but
Yeah.
we talked about that where, is it more important for the club team or
Hmm.
is it more important for the country? And, a lot of these players, it's going to be the country. So,
Yeah.
you know, God, that's where it turns really mental. Hopefully it's not too bad. Is it confirmed yet if the severity of the injury or
It hasn't been confirmed, but he came out of the game this past weekend, so sounds like it's tough. I just saw something for Team USA, Christian Pulisic, most likely not playing any more league games because he did injure himself.
oof,
But like I say, I think it's not serious, but they're saying it's a precautionary, and I being I'm always going to root for the USA because it is where I'm born. It's where I'm living. It's
yep,
a guy we need to play. He needs to
yep.
play for us to have a good chance.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. He's kind of what the cornerstone, right? Still of the Team
One
US.
of
So
them. I
one
think
of
he
them.
still is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do we have any fighting chance this season of for this World Cup, John? I know competition's
Um.
stiff.
No.
No.
I I will be honest. I see us getting out of the group stage, maybe
Yep.
getting through the quarterfinals, but after that, it would have to be perfect games from the national team for us to make it far. I saw something where I don't know if it was a commercial or something, or was it a commercial? I can't remember, but it was a commercial where it was sort of Brazil and USA in the final, and people are
Hmm.
like, "Oh, this is a sign," because I don't know who made the commercial, what company did, but then people are saying like, "Is this gonna bite you now?" You're already saying you're in the finals, and it's like, I don't know
Right.
how to think about it, but USA won it, so hey,
Wow.
if the stars align, we could be there, but it is gonna be a tough one. Like I say, France, Spain, Brazil, they're tough. Argentina's always tough. I think I'm curious what the Mexican national team's gonna bring into the pitch because that could be another competition.
Yep.
And then a lot of the European teams, they're just always competitive. So it'll be a hard
Hmm.
one for us, but hey, if we do, that'd be awesome.
Would be awesome. Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Hopefully we have, somewhat of a fighting chance.
Yeah.
If not, then my fandom will just turn over to the Germany. And since I did buy that
The...
jersey this season, that jersey's too sick. German last name as well. So
Yeah.
yep, follow along and yeah, no,
Yeah.
seems like fun. I do have just before I bring up these two other topics. Do you have any hot takes that are soccer related today, John?
I got one.
You got one? Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with the Spanish league?
No.
Okay. Either. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Was going to bring up this thing about Mbappe. You see
Okay.
this? The petition, almost, it reaches almost 70 million signatures, which I think sets a petition record, if you ask
It
me.
could.
Like that is massive. Where they want Mbappe out, even though isn't he the leading force of that team? Like
Uh,
what is that?
uh, yeah, I'm not surprised about it.
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of news about Mbappe. Um, I could see why because I think a lot of people see him as a toxic player for their club.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
he is one of the best. I will say he is up there, probably the best currently.
Hmm.
And skill, speed, a lot of that. But when it comes down to a team, I think he's too demanding, and it's just a negativity that follows him because he was on PSG before going to Real Madrid, and with PSG, never won a Champions League, never won, really didn't win the big awards. And then he left to go to Real Madrid, hoping to get that Champions League. The first year he leaves, PSG wins a Champions League without him,
Oof.
you know.
Oof. Yeah.
And
Not a good look.
and and PSG's back in the finals of the Champions League. So 2 years in a row they make it to the Champions League final without the so-called best player,
Hmm.
you know.
That'll do
And
it.
Yeah.
bit of a James Harden effect with him.
A little bit of a James Harden effect, you could say.
Got it.
Great, great player, has a great skill, probably one of the best, but can't win it. Can't win it.
Got it. Yeah. No, that's brutal. Yep. Okay. That explains a lot of it.
Yeah.
Didn't have a whole lot of details on it. Did see the amount of signatures it's garnered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was a little shocked.
Yeah.
And that's somebody that's so incredibly good. But that kind of sets a little bit of a clearer picture
Mhm.
as regarding that news. Next topic. Do you nothing regarding Olivia Rodrigo for you today?
Uh, Topic for you? No.
Okay.
I read into it, saw it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to talk briefly about this since we're on the topic
Yeah.
of this. And Olivia Rodrigo being your back-to-back year nominee for Coachella lead
Yeah.
performer, this might be a big precursor to something like that. And I was actually shocked about, how big she's grown. Like,
Hmm.
it's like her brand is just immense at this point. Where
Yeah.
there's an FC Barcelona Olivia Rodrigo collab
Yeah.
jersey.
Yeah.
Looked pretty sick. Good looking jersey, cool logo. Took a photo with God,
Lamine Yamal.
yes, Yamal. Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
People were like, "Oh, they'd make a cute couple." I saw a whole lot of that,
I saw a
and
lot
I
of
was
people
like,
talking
"Whoa, yeah!"
that.
And I think it's pretty fascinating. It's pretty cool. Is Olivia Rodrigo like an avid soccer fan? Like, do you know any bit about how this collab came up? Or
So the collab with Barcelona, it's a Spotify collab. So I don't
mm,
know if you've seen the other Spotify collabs they've had. They've
okay,
had Drake, Rosalia, Coldplay, Carol G, Travis Scott, Ed Sheeran, and I think that's it.
wow,
So
did not know
so
that.
yeah, so their main sponsor is Spotify, but what they did is like every year I think they either have like one or two like artists that they put into their as the logo instead of the Spotify.
Mm,
So they did
okay,
Olivia Rodrigo. It, it's cool. I liked it. I saw the price tag to it though. It's a little pricey. Uh
yeah.
400, I think 400 or 600, one of those in that range.
Jeez. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get a knockoff for
Yeah,
$60.
60 bucks, yeah. Which probably still the same kind of quality because
Uh-huh.
I know the Travis Scott ones when those came out, I think they hit like $1,000.
I don't doubt it. Well, John, it's actually getting pretty close. I see a StockX for sale, 836 $836 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It, it's pricey, so but like I say, I think why they also did it, I've read is because there was a time a few years ago where someone, I think it was Rodri, a Barcelona player, won the player of the year, and a
Mm,
lot of people wanted it to, I think it was to Vinicius, a Real Madrid player. So they were going and talking negative, like, "Oh, you don't deserve it," to Rodri, but they actually were doing it to Olivia Rodrigo's page accidentally. They thought it was Rodri. They thought it was a soccer player, but it was actually Olivia
okay.
Rodrigo. So I think Barcelona
Well,
did this, and they did it during the Clásico. So Barcelona Real Madrid played on Sunday, one of the big games for the they're in the Spanish league. So they did it there, and it just a full circle moment. I think people say
yeah,
Olivia Rodrigo won a a League Cup because she was there to because they hoisted the trophy up on Sunday, before Mbappe did. And
absolutely.
I think that's why the petition came for Mbappe.
Yeah, got a whole lot more signatures,
Yeah.
in addition over the weekend.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, that's what I got for soccer. The two pretty big topics
Yeah.
in addition to all that's going on around the sport.
Yeah. And I'll share mine with you. So the what I
Hmm.
was gonna share with you is I feel like Mexico right now is winning the World Cup because
Oh,
I don't know if you heard what they did, but they ended school a month early because of the World Cup.
no way.
They're ending it a month early, taking
Wow.
kids out of school for the World Cup. So
Love that.
what equivalent does the US have to do to maybe one up them?
just give one day after the Super Bowl. Just one.
Well, for this World Cup, like what do they have to do for the World Cup?
Like how what does the US have to do World Cup related for the citizens of the United States?
Yeah, to sort of
Um,
one up Mexico, to sort of still be the top country.
yeah. Oof. If you really want to win it over, free beer.
For me. That sounds amazing, but could be pretty dangerous.
That's going to be very bad. It'll be very bad.
Uh,
I'm trying to think, time off is always great. Time off
mhm,
is always great. I would say off days on any US game for
mhm,
just national holiday, just
yeah,
straight up.
yeah,
So that way the working class, doesn't have to, be at work and we can just kind
yeah,
of watch. We're going to be in a good time zone for it
mhm,
finally. Um, so,
yeah,
reasonable hours for it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
okay.
I don't know. Give us, I don't know. Yeah, see, you can't even raffle. You can't even. I'm trying to think of like because it just
Uh,
doesn't beat 1 month off before. I'd
I don't know.
let the kids out a month early here too. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I sort of was thinking like they have to give everybody make the semifinal games because it's only two games, make
Mhm.
it a national holiday.
There you go.
Have the government, yeah, there's already trillions being spent on other things, which I won't go into because I just
Yep.
hate talking politics and stuff like that. But
Yep.
man, just give that time off. Let us all enjoy it because most likely it's going to be during the work week, Monday through Friday, and a majority of people in the US work,
Hmm.
so how do you make it popular and make the sport just popular the way I think a lot of people have been trying to do it here in the States? Give the semifinals off. The final, I
Hmm.
think, is already either going to be a Saturday or a Sunday, so no, we don't have to worry about that. Um, Getting the next day off would be nice because, like I say, if
Hmm.
it's the US wins it, it's going to be a party in the US. Miley Cyrus has to come out and perform somewhere.
Ayo. Yeah, absolutely. Just take to the streets. A little pop-up concert would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm even thinking about like just consumerism, a free, grocery run,
Yeah.
just for anybody for the game, in preparation if we win it all, that would be great. But I love the days off. I feel
Hmm.
like that just doesn't beat anything. It's national holiday,
Yeah.
that then, a lot of people will either
Yeah.
watch
Okay. Yeah.
or think about the reason
Yeah.
why you have a day off.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think side question with this. You have an older kid with your son.
mhm.
A month off earlier from school. How would you feel about that?
Ooh.
As a parent, not as thinking this as a parent side, not the soccer side.
Yeah, that's where it gets tough. Because if if you're luckily, we're in a position where Jen, her schedule's, decently available, but
Yeah.
it's like, if you're working class, both parents and then your kid's off a month early, it's like, what am I gonna do? It's like
Yeah, that's
where's this kid gonna go?
yeah. You're like, I gotta pay a babysitter. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. And it's different, maybe, other countries, have other things that are a little bit more easily accessible.
Hmm.
It's just different lifestyles. It could be a lot easier, just to
Yeah,
not have them not in. But yeah, here in the States, it could be, awfully difficult to try to organize all
it
that in a
could
short
be.
time. And it's all, right now it's going to cost a fortune, it's
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess a paid holiday would be a small consolation of, don't have to
Yeah.
pay that day and then, get the day off at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be tough for a lot of people. And I'm curious, I need to read into a little bit how the citizens in Mexico feel about this. I think a lot of them will be excited, but I think those working class that are sort of like, they rely on the school sort of as that free childcare for, a few hours to go
Hmm.
make that bread. Um, it's probably going to be tough because it's like, man, what am I going to do with you for a month while soccer and all the hooligans are out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it can change a lot. Yeah, yeah. You got to organize those summer activities even
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our little soccer take, We went a little longer, Tim. How you feeling with your soccer knowledge
Yeah,
now, huh?
the confidence level's getting through the roof. We're looking a lot better now.
Yeah.
I can hold a
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah, no, that's good. But we'll go into our banter takes. This is where we share our hottest takes of the week. With these takes, we don't prep each other, we don't compare any notes, and we don't pull any of the punches. So everything you're about to hear is just fresh off of our mind, real-time reactions. So we'll get into it. Tim sends me my take, I send him his takes, and we're just gonna banter, agree, disagree. Many things. And as always, we always ask you guys comment on our takes. Let us know what you guys think, and uh, we'll comment back with you guys on our socials. So
Absolutely.
all right. So my first take: the government's slow release of alien files has been a masterclass in suspense. Meanwhile, Hollywood drops entire plots in trailers and wonders why nobody cares anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, it's so crazy seeing all these alien things, how they're starting to release files of UFO sightings. I haven't seen I heard about the Pentagon releasing some UFO sightings. I haven't seen them. I don't know. Have you seen them, Tim?
Here and there, a little bit.
Yeah.
I've, after your, supposed alien abduction I talked about
Uh,
last week,
okay.
put us, I think, a lot of people at ease that they're still
Yeah.
listening to Who Let the Dogs Out, Baha Men.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're a little behind.
Yeah.
But I have here and there, and I think a lot more of these photos, it's becoming a little bit more of a clearer picture. And then some of the stuff dates back quite a while. Like, I don't know if
I
you've
saw.
heard some of these transmissions from like the previous moon missions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
all that
I've
stuff's
seen
crazy.
I've seen very little, heard very little. Being out with the stomach flu, you think you have a lot of time. You don't got
Yeah.
time for anything. You're just sort of trying to keep everything in. But I remember before it saw that they were releasing more info. But it also is like Hollywood. And it's what's crazy that people don't care about it, or don't they start thinking all this is fake because Hollywood is telling all these stories. We
Hmm.
talk about it a lot, I think, on our show when we talk about aliens, even movies. Hollywood has been predicting this for years, and they've said what it's going to look like, what some of the things are, what some of these aliens, these sightings will be, and nobody believes them. Nobody cares about him until it actually happens. The the one movie that I was gonna watch this weekend, it doesn't have to do with aliens, but it's sort of like Hollywood predicting it. Contagion. Uh,
Mm.
and I was thinking about it because we had the stomach flu, but it's like it predicted exactly what COVID was,
Yep.
and when the movie came out, nobody cared about it. And when COVID happened, everybody was watching it. I think it was one of the most streamed movies during that, pandemic in 2020.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I think one of the movies coming out that I'm really excited about, at least I am, because I still really enjoy these alien movies and I care about them because it really opens up the possibility of what it could be. Disclosure Day, the Steven Spielberg movie, that alien one, like I say, he's a genius. He knows a lot of presidents. How much of the secret info that the Pentagon's already releasing did he already use in the movie? We'll sort of see. He's probably already predicting everything the Pentagon's gonna release, and they're sort of gonna be like, "Oh, it's all fake," because Steven Spielberg already made a movie about it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. If stuff like that's going on, then it's just how the two intertwine. It's like one you want to believe is make believe, but then you're
Yeah.
like always in your head, like, what if that
What
happened?
if?
You know? And then I think what's kind of hitting a lot of people is like the release of the tease of these files and what's being released in our heads. We got to think like this is probably the bottom of the barrel. Like this
Yeah.
is just entry level
Yeah.
stuff. And we're not even
Yeah.
seeing any type of life
Oh yeah.
form,
Hmm.
like in I don't know, we've had people on the show that, kind of agree with us that,
Hmm.
stuff like that is out there. But like there's one object that looks like some type of jet or something like that, but then they zoom into it and it's totally different. There's, reports of like kind of squid-like objects that are
Hmm.
floating through the sky.
Okay.
There's from the 1969 Apollo 12 mission, there's flashing lights and they're going in like a snake-like centipede formation,
Oh, there.
and they're directly above the moon. And then in 1972, during Apollo 17's mission, there's three particles kind of circling each other. It looks like a green light, blue, and orangish red.
Mhm.
And they said it looked like the 4th of July. So that's, I mean, it's crazy that, they're going all that way, into outer space, traveling areas unknown and running into any sort of light, any sort of anomaly. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
like anything you see out there is, we don't know what the hell that is.
Hmm.
That's scary. At least we can
Yeah.
account for most things here on planet Earth. Um, and, it's just some of this evidence is just outrageous. And I know we've talked about it recently too. And we went to the beach yesterday, and just being at the beach, it kind of spurred the topic of talking about how, we think that there's aliens in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of this stuff could be off the coast of California. I've seen stuff from NorCal all the way to SoCal. And,
Hmm.
it's just like, we always hear about like how much is not seen or like untraveled. It's
Hmm.
almost like it's the most untraveled place on Earth, obviously,
Yeah.
is the deep sea. So we don't really know what's going on down there. If something lands in the middle of the ocean, there is a part of what the Pacific Ocean that's closer
Yeah.
to satellites in our sky than any sort of land, and that's in the Pacific Ocean. So just thinking about that, trying to put it in my noggin, is crazy to think about. But like, I will say, it has us talking about it. It
Hmm.
has a bunch of other people kind of talking about it,
Yeah.
where like, honestly, Hollywood does need to take notes. I feel like
Yeah.
we can watch movies in their trailers now, and the slow tease thing is just like, A, we want more, but B, do we want more? Like, do we want to know all that, or
Yeah.
do we want to make believe, at the same time?
Yeah. No, it's that one question because what they're releasing, it's sort of like what they would put in an email, and they're okay if it gets out.
Yep.
Everything they're giving us, like it's not like those FBI files that have like everything redacted.
Hmm.
It's like, if you get this, it's okay, enjoy it. It's our treat
Yeah.
to you. But what they may not be showing, like it's unknown. There could be so much. Um, it could be, real life, beings, they have them housed somewhere and there's a community of them. Who knows? I've always thought that like there's probably, and we've talked about it, there's aliens, I for sure think walking among us. We just don't know what
Hmm.
they look like. We don't know what kind of technology they have. And if we find out that type of information, man, a lot of people would panic. Knowing what they could look like, knowing what they could turn into, it
Hmm.
would be crazy. If there's a community of aliens, it would also cause panic. I've read places, and I think Rob, when he was here, mentioned it. Area 51 doesn't really have much aliens. I think there's other sites that have more of this UFO stuff that they're hiding, but Area 51 is the one everybody knows. It's the popular one. So they keep all the, stuff like, okay, you could have that. You could have that spaceship.
Hmm.
Oh, Independence Day, yeah, that was here. You could have those type of aliens or that type of ship.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and I know everything these days can be like interpreted as as a distraction,
Hmm.
and I feel like Area 51 could be one of those things. Like
Yeah.
it's just like there, it's ominous. You always have like those, security guards in the desert that, have rifles and can't go past, this fence, or else
Yeah.
they have, the ability to, attack you, arrest you.
Hmm.
And it just kind of leaves it like, whoa, you don't want to go there. And then of course we have movies on it and
Yeah.
yada yada yada. You're always wondering what's in there. It's like the sight
Yeah.
unseen. But quite frankly, picture there's like a deep cave somewhere. Imagine we're just hitting it right on the dot and like
Yeah.
what are these fuckers saying
Yeah.
right now? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You
No.
know, but
I
no, it just seems like a distraction. You know, it's like
yeah.
it's out there, it's visible. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this one TV show. I don't know if you heard about it or watched it, Paradise. It was on
No.
Hulu.
Mm-mm.
It's them living in a bunker in Denver. They create a community, all that, but like at the end of season two, spoiler if you haven't seen it, they sort of focus on the Denver airport because I think there's like rumors like underground in the Denver airport there is some sort of like base. What type of
Mm.
base? I don't know. What type of cave systems? Who knows what it could be? But like I say, I truly think there are many places across the US and even in other countries that probably are housing alien technology, have scientists that we probably don't even know about, or even, I want to say it, who knows who's listening? All these scientists missing. Are they there
Hmm.
now? You know, there is a big list of scientists missing, and we could go down a big rabbit hole with that if we decide to another day. But
We
man, like
could.
it's just such a coincidence of these heads of state. Avi or Avi is that who
Avi?
you are?
Our
Avi?
guy Avi?
Our,
Oh
our
yeah.
our guy Avi's still around, so I'm glad hasn't been taken at the moment. But
Yep.
there's a lot of people that believe in aliens, studying that type of technology and just technology that is related to what we already assume or think about aliens, and they're missing,
Hmm.
gone.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and then we kind of talked about it briefly, like maybe there's like some way that they unlocked a way to communicate with them. You know, like we've always kind
Hmm.
of thought about like the theory of them living amongst us. Are
Yeah,
they moving at a speed that we just can't visibly see?
yeah,
Are they too small? They massive and they're moving amongst us? Are they
yeah,
just, we just can't receive it? Is there
yeah,
a way for them to hypnotize us and,
yeah,
make us believe, other things? It's just like,
yeah.
all those theories kind of swirl. Um, but yeah, with the release of, you know, this and then, you pair it with the scientist scenario, it's like a whole lot's going on in that space right now.
Yeah,
And, at times it just feels like very little answers. And I think
yeah.
that's why it's like such a hot topic. And,
Hmm.
it's kind of unprecedented to even have, the government release stuff like this. It's like
Hmm.
stuff that, we'd always play out in our heads. We've seen it in movies
Yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, maybe, but, I've always been a skeptic from, in school, you think about, the massive amount of things in outer space. And
Hmm.
it's like, dude, there's no way it's just us. Like,
Yeah,
we could be alone here for a while, but beyond that,
yeah,
there's stuff out there.
yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot out in space and just so much unexplored space, at least by us, that we
Hmm.
haven't explored that it are we alone? I doubt it. I think there are those among us. What was I gonna say? Like the one things I've seen too, it's like with the moon, the recent moon trip. I think I sent
Hmm.
you videos of that. Like, looks like just a rock just joyriding across the moon, and it's like I'm still trying to figure out, look at some videos, seeing if it's AI or not. But if it's real, it's like, is it just like a comet hitting the moon and just scraping the surface of the moon, or is it something else?
Yeah, and see, that's another thing, John, is like we're in the day and age of AI, and it's like I see a lot of like AI that's just so blatantly obvious,
Yeah.
but it isn't for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
but for a lot of people it is. And then there's other things where I feel like I've been fooled. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, that rock one, if somebody said it's
I
AI, I'd believe it. If somebody said no, it's legit, I'd believe it.
yeah.
Like it's just like you can mask it, I feel like, somebody could release damning evidence of,
Yeah.
like the traditional green alien dude walking through public, and
Yeah.
then we'd all kind of laugh and be like, oh, AI. But what if
Yeah.
that was real? And we're
What if
just
it
all
was?
laughing and disregarding.
Yeah.
It's crazy how quick and abrupt this whole AI thing came about.
Yeah.
And yeah. it's just, but
Uh,
that rock one was insane. It looked
yeah.
like either like like you said, the rock joyriding looked like somebody just having the time of their life, riding a freaking dune buggy
Yeah.
across, and just being like, yeah, rock on.
Yeah.
Um, crazy, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah. And,
Did
and,
you?
and like, and I was gonna say with them releasing that, like, I'm surprised they did because normally they try to keep that stuff hidden, but it seems like,
Yep,
it's like, we'll give you this because they probably know it's not much of a threat or not much concerns with it. But like say everything that there is concerns, the comet that was supposed to pass, I never heard much more about it. Have you?
that's right. That's right. Yeah. No, Atlas, right?
Atlas.
I guess it has now exited the solar system,
Hmm.
but I think what they were saying was, as far as like the turns, the speed changes, it seemed different. Like it
Hmm.
was not traditional. Again, didn't happen, nothing happened the way that we thought it would.
Hmm.
But I'm hearing a whole lot about Apophis. Like I know that that
Okay.
asteroid that's supposed to be a near miss coming up in, I don't know, the next 4 years or something like that. I think it's
Hmm.
supposed to pass us a couple times. And one is supposed to be closer than the other. I guess one is going to be like within the distance of our satellites and Earth. Like it's going to be really close, but they're saying it's like a zero chance of it actually hitting. But it's like what is there hidden information on that too?
Hmm.
Will it hit? Will it not? Are we going to
Hmm.
see some shrapnel from it? Are we
Hmm.
worried about, is it other life forms that are passing by
Yeah.
that, they're, hey, we missed them on Atlas, but here comes the other ship. It's
Yeah.
Apophis coming through. We're going to take a
Yeah, we
closer
don't
look.
know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about right now. Is like I remember we talked about it so much. I was waiting for more news about it when it happened, and honestly, did the media, did the government not let it get out? Is that why these scientists are starting to miss and
Mhm.
disappear or be accidentally, I will say accidentally, passing away because I don't know what's really happening
Mhm.
because they know something and they don't want to share it. Is this one of those like that's going to be tucked really far under the UFO files that we'll never find out about?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And it just becomes a lot harder with modern technology,
Hmm.
where media is at, everybody who talks about stuff like this, it's like it's hard to keep things quiet at all. Like back in the day, of course, you could do that. Like, oh, they won't see it in the newspaper, they're
Yeah.
never going to get that news. But here we are. It's like, dude, it travels at the speed of light. People get text messages,
Yeah.
updates, notifications instantly, and it just changes it. Like you
Hmm.
can't really hide, the way that you once could. And I don't know, is
Yeah.
is AI going to be a mask for that in the future? I don't know.
Maybe.
Crazy.
We'll see. But yeah, but that's government slowly releasing these alien files. We'll see what they continue doing, what they continue releasing, if there's still going to be something that really is going to freak us out. But like I say, I think people should really not care about these alien movies in Hollywood. I think they really got to start paying attention because, like I say, some of it's going to be very accurate to what is actually happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. One thing too, John, real quick, those people who made those bunkers and like, like dug 30-foot, 100-foot ditches in their
Yeah.
backyard and have like this extravagant bunker going on. I don't see it quite as like, oh, you're crazy as I used to. I'm like,
Oh no.
kind of get it, you know?
Yeah. I if I would win the lottery, I would make one.
Yeah,
If I had
yeah,
that type of money, like lottery money, I'd buy a place and find a way to sort of hide a bunker and just be prepared. If I never have to
yeah,
use it, it'll just be a fun little man cave that I just hang
yeah.
out in,
It's gonna ask.
but
Yep,
that what if something happens and you gotta hide.
absolutely. Enough room for a golf sim in the meantime.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
golf sim, a few beds.
Yep.
I gotta see how I'm gonna do TV. I probably gotta, have to go back old school, have Blu-rays, and
Yeah.
just watch that.
It's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you and Vera collect some DVDs, right? Like
Yeah,
you guys
we
still
still
get them?
do. Yeah.
you got your collection
Yeah, yeah, we
for
got
sure.
everything we need to watch, so we could
Yeah.
watch it a lot. So it would have a golf sim,
Yeah.
probably like a pop and shot, Gotta you
Uh,
get that exercise. You gotta get some exercise in there. So
set your own record repeatedly.
yes, find
Freaking John
ways to
from last week.
yeah. You got to go
That'd be good.
left-handed on underhand
Of
backwards.
course.
Yeah,
Of course. One ball, two balls,
yeah,
three, got to mix it up a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I always thought the same, I always thought like, oh, people that do that, you're crazy. It's never gonna happen. And there's days I'm like, man, yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be prepared. You're prepared. That's what I
Yep.
call it now, preparedness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you're in Tornado Alley in the Midwest.
Oh yeah.
All the reason. Yeah. Might as well
Yeah.
get comfortable if something
Yeah.
crazy happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably set. So,
Good
but yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's a good take. All right, let me send you your take.
All righty. Hmm. Got my next one here. Canada's recent crackdown on ticket scalpers should be a wake-up call for the concert industry. Blue Dot Fever has made buying tickets more stressful and expensive than ever. Either venues need to offer more reasonable prices or artists need to demand affordable tickets for their fans. Not every artist can charge premium prices and still sell out like Taylor Swift. Concerts should be about the music and not pricing out fans. Yes. You know what's kind of crazy is I know that Billie Eilish recently released her,
Hmm.
I believe, movie, right? It's like,
Hmm.
like one of those concert movies was really popular. I think it did pretty good in theaters, at least the ads, of course, say so. Um, and I think she's been an advocate of trying to make ticket prices not quite as expensive. I think that it's drawn a different side of things where people are like, oh, see, she's making a movie to make extra profit and
Yeah.
capitalize off of it, the merch.
Yeah.
But it's like, if in the future she sticks by that sentiment and maybe her next tour, she tries to make it more affordable, it's like, okay, she's living up to
Hmm.
it. And, I think that there's a lot of artists out there that are still kind of like that, like, that want to be there for the fans. They'll do smaller venues. I think one person that I feel like I totally forgot about that I was talking with Jen about with our Coachella thing. Um, maybe you'll honor a late addition for me here, John. But I
Hmm.
wanted to give a shout out to like Lana Del Rey. I think she's a big possibility. I think she's a fantastic artist.
Yeah.
Jen always pumps her music in the car. I think it's great. I enjoy it. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a different twist on things.
Yeah.
And um, I think that with her, like she could sell out arenas, she could sell
Hmm.
out stadiums. Like her fan base is that big, but she still chooses to do small theaters,
Hmm.
smaller, boutique type, amphitheater style. And I feel like she does that for the fan connection. I know it makes tickets hard to get. I know it can
Hmm.
probably price them up a bit, but it's she's trying, I think, through this price gouging era to see that side of things where
Hmm.
like, the people who want to get there will get there and she can be more intimate with that setting. And that's I think a pretty cool thing. I could be wrong on that take, but I'm pretty sure that's what she kind of goes for
Hmm.
with a lot of that. And I don't think she wants to be seen as too much mainstream, even though her
Yeah.
music, kind of garners that respect.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other artists out there that will try to do that, but it's just a bummer where, and then you have other artists, I guess, like what J-Lo, who can't, she'll have an arena tour, but just can't even come close to selling them out.
Yeah.
And those artists just come off a completely different way. So hopefully a lot of these places follow suit. I know we had some commenters the last time that we kind of talked about, Ontario, Canada bringing
Hmm.
this up, and there was some hope that it'll turn the tides, but there's other things that people are like, oh no, this
Hmm.
is an excuse for ticket firms to jack the prices again, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, no, this Blue Dot Fever, it's crazy because, like I say, it came out right after our discussion with Canada and the ticket scalpers. But what's so crazy about it is there's a lot of people, a lot of these artists canceling because they're not selling out their venues. Post Malone canceled his entire tour because of this. Megan
Hmm.
Trainor, she canceled her tour. She says it's because she wants to be with her family. She just had another kid through surrogate. Um, and she's like, I want to spend time with my family, but it's, the data is there. If you go to Ticketmaster for some of these artists, there's so many blue dots, which are the open tickets. And what they're doing is it's not sold out. We're just going to cancel it. Pussycat Dolls, they canceled their tour because of it, and they're sort of honest about it. They're like, it isn't, the reception we thought it was going to be. So it's something that it's crazy to see. And like I said, there's only a few artists that could really sell out at premium prices entire stadiums. Taylor Swift is one. Another one this past week that happened, Olivia Rodrigo. She announced her tour. She sold out every single place that she's going to. She even added more shows and still sold it all out. And
Wow.
those were at a premium price. But then I was looking because I always like to go on Ticketmaster. I like going to concerts. But I think Shakira had her tour. It's at I don't know if it's at Intuit Dome or somewhere, but there's so many tickets still left.
Hmm.
And, that's that blue dot fever. And when I looked at prices, I was like, for Shakira, I don't know if I'd be paying 400 plus dollars for not even like front row. If it was around that 150, I think I would consider it, but $400 I wouldn't. Olivia Rodrigo, I'll say it. We got tickets. We got four, so we'll be going to that. But we did spend a premium, and she is that type of person that it's worth it. But I also think she's doing something sort of what like Lana Del Rey is doing because she's not allowing people to resell her tickets. Um, on Ticketmaster, you're not able to resell it. These scalpers are gonna find a way, but like I say, she's doing a few things, and she's also doing something she did at her last concert is these $20 tickets that you can buy in pairs, and then you go pick it up at will call the day of the concert. You just don't know where you're gonna sit. So it could be a nosebleed, or it could be in the midsection, it could be on the floor. So she always sells a limited amount of those tickets. So when those tickets go out, like I said, that's for those true fans that want those tickets and they show up at will call and pick it up that way. Scalpers can't do that because they have to go in if they pick up those tickets. So
Right.
it's interesting to see this Blue Dot Fever and your thing with Lana Del Rey. I had her on my list for Coachella.
Oh.
The reason I didn't say her is because I know her last Coachella performance was really bad. A lot of people
Mm,
didn't like it, and I don't know if Coachella would give her another chance or look for other artists, but I
got
think
it.
if she goes to Coachella, it would still be a big show. A lot of people would be excited.
Yeah, especially over the last couple of years, I feel like, her songs have grown even more.
Mhm.
New album recently, if I'm not mistaken, somewhat recently, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Um, Not positive. I feel like that there's been some new songs in my brain in the mix there, in the car. But yeah, I'm reading more into the Blue Dot Fever. And
Mhm.
and a name that comes up a lot here is Post Malone.
Mhm.
And I know Post Malone, of course, kind of changing genres. I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of his initial fans were there because of the hip hop style that he
yeah.
had. White Iverson was, a song that, obviously kicked him off and brought him into stardom. And that vibe of, music that he had, it seemed perfect for him.
Mhm.
It said, well, then he makes his run at country, and it's been just nowhere near. He had the
Mhm.
one song with Morgan Wallen. After that, I can't even name you another country song that he's
No.
produced. So it's like, he tried to do that, but he didn't have to.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of artists kind of go to country because, that's just what's kind of been in the last few
Yeah.
years. Um, and it just hasn't
Mm.
really worked. Jelly
Yeah.
Roll's another one on here.
Mhm.
Had that complete fail of a song. I don't know if it's his fault or not. I don't know why that song was chosen
Yeah.
because it has zero relevancy to soccer at all. And then, of course, Shakira makes her comeback with the FIFA song,
Yeah.
which was very interesting. And I think the right direction to go personally. I think
Yeah.
Shakira just bangers for FIFA, which is awesome. And then you pair that with ticket prices. we can talk about the gas price to get to
Hmm.
these concerts now. Uber, if you're going to take Uber, you're planning on drinking a little bit, something pricey again.
Hmm.
Obviously those cars are running on gas, or even if they are on electric, it's still going to be pricey because it's a high
Hmm.
cost event. It's just it becomes a fortune. And then you're pairing that. I see here that the average ticket prices for 2026 so far have been $144. Last year it was only around 115. It's like
Hmm.
so ticket prices have gone up an extraordinary amount as
Hmm.
well. Um, and I think people are just kind of tired of it. I think
Yeah.
that there's just, that growing, just, boredom of it. It's like if an artist isn't really giving all of their effort into their music, maybe
Hmm.
they're touring, thinking that, the repeat of their previous songs is going to be, just amazing and people
Yeah.
want to hear it. No, they probably want to hear new stuff too. So I think
Yeah.
that's what Olivia Rodrigo has going for her. I know Taylor Swift obviously had that from new to classics.
Yeah.
Um, it's just some of these artists don't produce new stuff, and if they do, it's just different and not what the true fans would want. So
Yeah.
going back to all in all with this, it's like stop pricing out your true fans with
Yeah.
people that don't really know yet.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I don't know who's doing it, because I saw like in Europe, like Olivia Rodrigo tickets, they were ranging in like the 160, 180 euros, which is probably like 200 here. But like here at Intuit Dome's pretty expensive, the tickets, compared probably to other stadiums. And it's like, is it Intuit sort of setting the price? Is it Olivia? Who is it? Because like I say, whoever it is, they have to get it together. Intuit Dome, I know it's a high state of the art, arena. But man, pricing out the fans that would want to go, it's like you're gonna get cancellations of these artists because they're not even selling out the stadium, and it's you're gonna lose even more money, when you're there about making money because you hit it right on the dot. To go to these events, you gotta pay gas. Gas, SoCal over $6 most places. If you could find it under six, go for it, man.
Yeah,
you know, fill up,
Costco.
take some containers. But man, are you willing to wait an hour in Costco line
Oh,
for gas?
that's
That
it.
that's the one thing, some people you got to make that sacrifice, which is like, I don't want to take an hour of my day waiting at Costco.
See, that's my methodology. Quick little snippet. Um, Jen sees it the other way, where it's like, no, let's go sit in Costco and get the gas. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll fill it half right now, and we'll put that off for another day. I just don't feel like it.
I don't I get it, but it's like by the time you're spending there, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
If there was no line at Costco, yeah, I'll go for it. But man,
Yep.
if there's a line that I know I'm going to be there for quite a bit and people are just trying to swerve in and I'm just not in that mood, it's like, nah. It's like
Yep.
what Costco needs to do to make it an incentive, have almost like at ballparks, have the guy walking around with hot dogs,
Dude, now we're talking.
soda.
John,
I'll be like, yeah, chicken bake. All right, I'll wait in the
fucking
line.
nailed it. Yeah, with those prices, $1.50, you get, make it $1, just get the dog.
Yeah.
Or yeah, chicken bake. Oh, dude, yeah, John, come on.
Yeah.
That's legit. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the way I would. That's the only
Oh,
way I would wait in the line because I'm like, man, I'm gonna get four of these hot dogs and just munch on them while I'm waiting.
hell yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, now we're talking. Can you imagine? Hot
That'd be
dogs.
insane.
That'd be so good.
They,
Yeah, I would
they
just wait
they
in line
would,
for that.
yeah, they would make a killing. But
Mhm.
but to go back to it,
Yeah.
like to go to these stadiums, to go to these concerts, you got to pay gas. The food at these venues already expensive.
Yep.
Where we were talking, or like I say, Olivia's into it. They better have those birria burgers because I will
Ooh.
do a full in-person review of eating that bad boy,
Oh yeah.
because it was good. But
Mm.
like I say, food's expensive. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons owner. He said for the World Cup, he's keeping concession prices at the low price that they have. So I
Nice.
appreciate that about him. Like $2, I think it was like $2 hot dogs or $4, which reasonable price for already having to pay a lot of money for those tickets. Um,
Definitely.
but yeah, so it's like they got to figure it out because, like I say, a lot of us want to go to some of these concerts. Like I'd want to go to Shakira. I enjoy her music, but I'm not going to be paying that type of money. And I'm like, I don't, even for nosebleeds, it's pretty pricey. I'm like, I'm not paying over $100 for all the way at the rafters. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm okay.
exactly. That's the other thing too, is like, do you, at that point, it's kind of like almost like, are you willing to attend a sporting event to sit in the rafters, or would you prefer just watch it on TV?
Yeah,
And it's like, I personally get to a certain point where like, I'd stay in my own home, watch it on TV,
yeah,
it'd be pretty cool. But when it comes to concerts, obviously you kind of consume it in a different way. It's different when you're there and when you're
hmm
not. Obviously Coachella became a big thing, but it's like, if I were to say, because we both went and witnessed Taylor
no,
Swift live with her
yeah,
recent stadium tour, it was one you had to be there. Like it
yeah,
was something different.
yeah,
And you could consume a lot of that via social media, but the feel of it once you're in
hmm
there, it's second to none. So
yeah,
yeah, that's those moments are big. Obviously, Olivia Rodrigo's like well on her way to
yeah,
with that stardom. She's right there on the precipice of it. So,
yeah.
that it's probably another one of those events where it's like, nah, you'll want to be there. So,
Yeah, yeah, I think it's one of those. But like I say, this Blue Dot Fever, it's crazy. And you touched on it a little bit. Post Malone going from his hip hop pop to country. You know, I'm thinking he saw Beyonce's success, and
yep.
not everybody's Beyonce posts. Like I enjoy
Mm-mm.
Post Malone. Like I would want to go to his concert if I knew he was going to play a lot of his classics. But at the same time, I wouldn't be paying that premium ticket price that Olivia, Taylor Swift, Metallica type tickets, prices that they would ask. Those are like specific ones. I'd be like, yeah, I'd pay for those.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, at least when it comes to some of these artists too, um, I don't know. One part of me is like, I keep seeing a lot of people going to the Sphere in Vegas,
Hmm
and I haven't had much of a want to go to Vegas, but I would, some of these artists, when they're playing there, I'd be like, that'd be pretty badass to go and
hmm
watch, in the
Yeah.
Sphere. Um, so that, venues are kind of hard to come by that,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get you, wanting to go and attend. I feel like a lot of the, the stadiums here that we have in LA are good and worth it because a lot of them are
hmm
brand spanking new and into it you mentioned
hmm
it's probably going to be a pretty sweet spot to watch.
Yeah.
Um, I just feel like the Sphere would be an added thing where,
Oh yeah.
you pay a few extra bucks to go because of the ambiance to it, and
hmm
that might get me in the door regardless of it. Maybe Post Malone, long story short of what I'm trying to get at, is country or not, if Post Malone went into the Sphere and was somehow, able to put a bunch of like Chevy trucks in the Sphere and, make it work, he might get more
He
people in the
might,
door.
yeah. Yeah, in that sphere, like I said, I want to experience it, but I gotta find something I'm really willing to pay the money.
Yeah,
I think with
it's
Vera
expensive.
right now it's No Doubt. Um, that one's a little tempting, No Doubt, Gwen
Mhm.
Stefani, the songs. Been watching some videos, but like I say, the ticket, that's a premium ticket. And then what I've read a lot, I don't know if you've read it too, the motion sickness some people feel because of
That'd be
like the
brutal for
sphere.
me.
Yeah, I'm like I'm at an age where it might affect me a lot more than it would have younger,
Hmm.
but it'd be cool. Like I say, I've seen some of the EDM ones. They had like I think Tomorrowland and different EDM artists. Those looked insane, but I was like, man, I might have like fallen down the rafters of that one just tripping
Oh
out.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, especially if you're like, you're already like halfway drunk
Yeah,
and you're like, oh
yeah,
man, you're
yeah,
tripping. And yeah, I'm real bad with motion sickness. I
yeah.
I think that would be the one brutal part of it.
Uh,
I know the Eagles will be there, what, in
yeah,
September it looks like.
I think so, yeah.
Those tickets I've heard are going to be a
hmm
fortune. Um,
Yeah. But
A lot
that
of people
but
wanting to go see that.
but that's one I would say is probably worth that type of experience. It's the Eagles. These older bands, artists that still could play a bit and still play really well.
Hmm.
For us youngsters, it's something amazing to experience. For the old heads that were listening to them when they were young, still also an amazing experience. And at a place like the Sphere, it'd probably be very cool. But like I said, I would sort of I've looked into it. I've been trying to research seats because I hear like at the top it's like really inclined. So it's almost like the high bleachers
Hmm.
in Dodger Stadium where it's like a
Oh
big
yeah.
incline. Like they're fun there when you go with a group, but man, sometimes it's pretty scary just going up and down those stairs.
Yeah, no, it scares the crap out of you. Oracle Arena in Oakland back in the day, when the
Yeah.
Warriors used to play there. I've sat in those nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Dude, like if you trip, you're on the fucking court. You are there. Like it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Staples Center in some sections is like
Yeah.
that too.
Hmm.
It's those old school arenas, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're scared of heights, get lower seats
Yeah.
because yeah,
Yeah.
it won't
Pay,
be it.
pay the extra. Get something that you're not gonna fall all the way down.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oakland Coliseum was another one that, yeah, it's like, man, if you're drunk,
Yeah,
good luck. Don't get in
yeah,
fights up there
yeah,
either. Like, you'll topple ten friggin'
yeah,
rows.
yeah. No, it's crazy, but yeah, the this blue dot fever, like I said, we'll see what changes come from it. Because like I say, I think there has to be changes because so many people are canceling their concerts because of it. And like I say, it's how they make money, and it's how they get exposure. So I'm curious to see what the future of tickets and this is.
Absolutely. I have another one here for you.
Okay.
Just checking my grammar on it because I wrote it kind of quick earlier today. Uh, all right. Hopefully that's good enough. You'll see yeah. You'll know what I'm saying with the
Yeah.
first grammar area there.
So Kansas City logos continue their 2-year run at being mid and seen as incredibly boring with the snooze fest of a FIFA World Cup jersey. Okay, I've seen some of these jerseys. I've seen
Hmm.
some of them.
Okay.
The one I will say I enjoy a lot, Seattle. I don't know why I like the Seattle one. The
Yep.
colors, the whale, that one's pretty cool. LA one's a little bit mid, not that great.
Boston is sick. The lobster.
Boston, that's a cool
Oh,
one.
that's a
That was a
sick one.
good one. But
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the Kansas City one.
It's a snooze
But
fest. Can't blame you.
but like I say, I'm not surprised, because Kansas City doesn't really have much style. I don't think they ever go like big, and like I say, for what they're doing, so it's this blue one, the
Yeah, it just
people.
has two people kicking a soccer ball back and forth.
It makes no sense to me. Like that one building, bottom right of the front of the jersey, who knows what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does not interest me. Probably the least selling jersey out of all of them. Um,
Absolutely.
Let me see. Kansas City Journey honors a city of authentic character, deep-rooted pride, and sporting culture that punches well above its weight. I don't see any sporting culture in here.
Yeah.
I
Are
don't.
they a soccer city now?
They they
Chiefs kind of
they
suck.
they
So
wish they did. They wish they were
yeah.
a soccer city. I don't think I've never seen Kansas City as a soccer city. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
like I say, I'm not surprised. What Kansas City's gonna do to their Chiefs jersey probably once they move as well. It's just gonna probably be just so bland. I already don't even like the color. I don't know why. I'm just not a Kansas City fan, jersey fan. Patrick Mahomes, like I
Mhm.
say, like him as a player. Travis Kelce, like I say, if I'd want to buy a jersey, it'd probably be his, but I just don't like their jersey. I don't know if it's just
Mhm.
not for me or what, but yeah, what they're doing, it's not good.
It's
Um,
ketchup mustard vibes with the Chiefs, right?
yep. And I hate mustard. I
Yeah.
hate mustard. I enjoy ketchup, but I hate
Yep.
mustard. And you put mustard on my stuff, I'm not gonna eat it. So
Oof.
I'm not eating that Kansas City. But yeah, like I say, I'm on FIFA right now. Only four jerseys are open so far.
Yep.
But but yeah, the I saw the Seattle one. I really like that one. The Boston one too with the crowd. That one's so creative,
Oh
very
yeah.
unique, you know. And then New York, like I say,
Statue of Liberty, right?
Statue of Liberty, a little basic. You see the apple, the dice on the sides. I don't know what that face is on the left side of the jersey. Um, yeah, I'm curious to see more. I think I saw a lot of him. I want to drop on Abercrombie because I think that's where I buy a lot of my t-shirts, the soft shirts.
Yep.
Very good shirts right there if you guys haven't tried them. But I think
Agreed.
they also have a lot of the of the shirts already. And I think this is where I saw the LA one because I this is also where I saw the Boston one. Is it is it this one? Maybe
Is
it's
it
not
true when you
Abercrombie.
get your Abercrombie shirts delivered, it comes with the club music and the perfume
Oh
included, or?
yeah, it does. Someone comes in.
Yeah.
You know,
GTL.
yeah. Like I say, hey, if you, yeah, I see the option. If you pay the extra, you could get a shirtless guy like come deliver it. You know,
Yeah, there you go.
those models
Yeah.
come deliver it to you. You know,
Yeah, dude. No,
I think
Abercrombie, big comeback.
yeah, big comeback after all their controversy. Like I said, that's could be a whole other topic of conversation. Did you
Oh
ever
yeah.
watch their documentary?
Yes, parts of it. I remember that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So, but but yeah, I saw other ones. I can't remember where. Oh, it is. Is it this one? Yeah. So on Abercrombie they have their FIFA World Cup graphic tees. The New
Hmm.
York one has the Statue of Liberty. The Miami one, it's really basic for Miami right now. It's just the outline of the USA with fireworks. That's why I think it might still be
Hmm.
upgraded. Same with the the LA one.
Okay.
Um, which one's this one? The black one. Doesn't tell me. This one doesn't have a city. But it has the Boston one. So it's a t-shirt with that same logo of that jersey, but just on the back
Mhm.
in white. And when I
Yeah.
saw, I thought it was really cool. The Seattle one comes in a light blue. Oh, if you go on it, the Texas one, I think it's Austin. It
Okay.
has a guy in a spacesuit like getting a soccer ball, so chesting a soccer pass. That one looks really cool.
Nice.
Um, there's another one with a cowboy doing a bicycle kick. That one's okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh, and then there's another Miami one with a flamingo. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
So like I said, they had a few. So I saw the Seattle one, I saw those Texas ones, but I haven't seen the Kansas City one until today, and I will say it is very just basic. I am not happy with what they did and how they're representing the US at this time.
Yeah. Brutal. Brutal look for Kansas
Mhm.
City, per the usual the last couple of
Yeah.
years, sports wise. Um, but as far as the jersey itself, they missed a real opportunity because I will shout out Kansas City in this form. You got it right. Definitely not a taco-oriented city per
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, the way he described hard shell tacos. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not even a taco. That's just Taco Bell. Um, but as far as food, the barbecue I heard is arguably the best in the United States,
Yeah.
and I'd love to try it. But they missed a real opportunity of just putting a
Yeah.
massive fire pit with just a bunch of different types of meats all over it.
Hmm. Yeah.
They should have just gone big on the meat,
Yeah.
and that's what they're known for.
Hmm.
And then like you could put like a soccer ball of meat somewhere
Yeah.
on there and just
Yeah.
fit it in.
Or have it like a grill with the smoke coming from like the back of it, and then
Yep.
like some meat like on the grill, but then have like soccer players with a soccer ball playing, almost making it seem like it's the field.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. There you go. And just
you're
call it the
you're
smoke show.
yeah, or you're grilling those opponents.
Ooh, yeah.
Look
And you
at
just have like a bunch of ribs in a circle.
that. Yeah,
It's like for the
yeah. Look at Kansas City. How easy that was. 10 seconds we figured that out.
easy,
Yeah.
easy, way better than, you putting two mediocre looking flowers with, a guy that's kicking the ball straight up in the air, not even
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
Unreal. Could have been better. Yeah, by far the worst one, but these other ones are pretty good. But by
Yeah.
far the Boston one,
Yeah.
who doesn't want a gigantic lobster on their t-shirt? That looks
Yeah.
sick. That is badass.
Yeah.
Mount Rainier in the background of Seattle's really
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
With the ocean setting, city in the background. I think I see the Space Needle there on the left.
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty vibes makes sense for New York and New
Hmm.
Jersey. Um, they all make sense except for Kansas City.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too sure what they're working towards there. Would love to see a release of more of the U.S. cities, of course. Don't have Los Angeles on this FIFA
Yeah.
website. I know that you mentioned, Abercrombie's working on a few things there. Hopefully they get that going. But,
Yeah.
you know, most of all, I just feel like there should have been a little bit more collaboration on some of these jerseys when it
Hmm.
comes, especially to Kansas City, because
Yeah.
I'd like to know the creator and who made it.
Hmm.
And yep, it's hard-earned spirit for those. Okay. Um, and what is integrated NFC authentication? So they're an NFC city, not an AFC city. I thought Kansas City Chiefs were a big AFC town.
I think it's just because they're numbered. I think all
NFC.
their jerseys are numbered.
Got
Let
it.
me see.
Yeah. Um,
NFC on yeah, so
oh wait,
number
here's more.
yeah.
Oh, coming soon. A whole lot coming soon. They're gonna have
Yeah.
an Atlanta. They'll have a Dallas.
Hmm.
They'll have a Guadalajara City,
Yeah.
Houston, Los Angeles, Mexico City, Miami.
Hmm.
You can kind of see it like blurred. Miami's
Yeah.
definitely Miami Vice colors. Monterey
Yeah.
City, Philadelphia, San Francisco. San Francisco's got to have a giant seal on it. Be
It
pretty
looks like
sick.
it looks like it on the right side, that gray like
I
little
see
smudge.
that.
Looks
And
like
then the
it could
red
be
is
this.
the Golden Gate, you think?
Yeah, that's my guess. You have to have the Golden Gate for San Francisco. If you don't have it,
Yeah,
missed
you do.
opportunity.
Should
Yeah.
definitely put Alcatraz on there. Definitely put
No,
Alcatraz
Small.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Toronto, and then you got Vancouver. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, gonna get a good slew. Okay, good to know. They're definitely doing a lot of
Hmm.
hosts. All the host
Yeah.
cities is gonna get
Yeah.
one. Love to see that. Pretty cool. Yeah, no, they're on the right direction, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Kansas City, do better. Do better in the future.
With a few things,
They
right? When it comes to sports, or
with a few things when it comes to sports, jerseys, trading, just be honest, get creative. Don't try to be too basic because it just looks bad at times.
yeah,
You're representing for the US right now with in one of the biggest stages. This is bigger than I hate to say it, bigger than the Super Bowl. So I
yeah,
wish they would have done better trying to be the sports town that they say they are.
yeah. Stick to barbecue.
Yeah.
Stick to barbecue.
Stick to Burger.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna send you this one.
Okay.
I saw this and I just felt it was a conversation. Yeah. And it might not be that long, but
Oh, here we go. Absolutely. Hot take of the summer. Cereal is technically a form of soup. Yeah, I'll back this up all day, every day. And it makes sense. It's summer. Everybody kind of wants some cold soup. You're not going to drink warm milk with cereal unless you're like crazy. Comment on this video if you drink warm milk
warm.
with your cereal. Because then it classifies even more as soup and kind of helps my cause too. But I also want to know why you do it because that's different. I get it in addition to like oatmeal, and then you put it in the microwave and it gets warm, but it dissolves into the oatmeal, and then you have that. But that's not soup. But as far as this goes, I mean, you have your edible form,
Hmm.
within the liquid. It's just the cooking element. I didn't, if maybe I didn't get the soup memo, but I don't think you have to cook it in order for it to be soup. That might be a big question mark for a lot of people, but I think
But
if you have a liquid and you have something in the form that you can crunch on or
uh,
physically eat, you got soup. And I think the real thing you need to bring into, talk here, John, is broth. Is broth soup or is it just broth? Because
well,
you're not chewing on anything.
well, broth is just broth. I don't consider broth by itself soup.
Perfect.
I consider it broth. I consider that like a garnish, almost you could sort of say. It
Hey, yeah.
needs something, and if you put it with noodles, some protein, some veggies, then I consider it a soup. It's a mixture.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, but I completely agree. Yeah, it's just the baseline because if you're just going to put milk in a bowl, you're just having a glass of milk or a bowl of milk, like that's it. You know. Be kind of weird. Anybody who comment on this video if you drink pure milk out of a bowl as well. But you have your edible piece with the milk. It's obviously soup. And I will take it even up a notch more.
Oh,
A,
okay.
a hot dog is a sandwich.
A hot
Oh,
dog is a sandwich.
yeah. See, that's another thing too.
Okay.
That we could coincide this. That,
But
I feel like the same person that is going to say cereal is soup will say a hot dog is a sandwich.
I would say hot dog's more of a taco.
Oh. Oh,
Because I see your argument with a hot dog as a sandwich,
got
but
two buns.
the bun's connected. It
Mm.
doesn't break apart, right?
Mm.
Or are you that psycho that you break your bun apart for a hot dog? Are you that crazy, Tim?
Not that crazy. Not that crazy.
If you break your bun apart at a hot dog, we need to get you checked out.
Yeah, that's highly questionable. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're not catching, you are no condiment raw dogging that dog.
yeah, you have to be.
Uh, if you're going to separate the bun
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
because you're not catching anything.
yeah, yeah. That's why I would say I'd consider a hot dog more of a taco because it has that bottom that
Hmm,
catches the condiments, salsa for a taco,
that
ketchup
could be it.
for a hot dog.
That could be it. Yeah. Hey, I like it, but still two buns. It's like you have that connection. I'm trying to think of other things that you could say. Okay, so you take your traditional Italian sub, you
Okay,
know, you cut it. A lot of places won't fully separate that bread.
that's true.
You lace both sides with your condiments, you throw all the cold cuts on it, you close that bad boy up without the full separation until you cut it in half.
Hmm.
And then, yeah,
And it's a
that's on a
sub
full
sandwich.
slice.
And
That's
it's a
it.
sub sandwich.
See?
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
But I get the taco, I get it. Slightly opened,
Hmm.
but I also get the sandwich.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think we got to leave that out to those listening. Like, what do they think? Is a hot
Yeah.
dog more of a sandwich or more of a taco?
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody who just destroys hot dogs. Joey Chestnut. If you
He
want to
might be the
comment
best.
on that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But the way he eats them is like a psycho. That's the problem.
Yeah. He just
It's not
vacuums
much of
them.
a sandwich or a taco when he devours that thing. It's
He
just
just
like
inhales
dog
it
bread. Yeah,
in
dips it in
water.
water. That's fucking nuts. I get it, but it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's raw dog to the max because there's no
Oh
condiments
yeah.
other than some water.
No, that's just different. But yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
what's your thoughts on the milk cereal soup thing?
I'm like 50-50 because like I say, I see where you come from, but when I hear soup, I always have thought warm. So now I'm really debating
Mm,
myself of like it probably is, because like I said, just like with the broth. Milk by itself is just milk. No matter what you put it in. You put it in a bowl, it's milk. But once you put something into it, it changes. It's not milk.
Hmm.
It's it's cereal, which is a soup. Because it's the
Yeah.
same thing with broth. Broth is broth by itself, but once you put veggies, you know, some carne, whatever you decide to put into it, chicken,
Hmm.
it's it's a soup, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Gets you thinking,
Gets me thinking.
it's, but then it also gets me thinking the endless possibilities of what we can call soup at some point. Um, one for sure is now I'm thinking about it. When you have a prime rib sandwich and you dip it into au jus,
Oh yeah.
the meat
The,
that falls in the au jus, does that
the
become like your soup for later?
it's a sandwich and soup on the side, or
Yeah.
a soon to be soup au jus soup after.
Au jus soup.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
Well,
it's like second meal.
here's the question now. Like I say, I when I go to movie theaters, I have nachos. Sometimes some of my nacho chips break in the
Oh,
nacho cheese.
yeah.
Would we consider that a soup?
Nacho
Or is
soup.
nacho soup? I don't know.
That's thick.
That's
That
very
is
thick.
that is a thick ass soup.
It could only be a small thing like that, nachos. I can't have it in a bowl because I probably
Yeah,
would puke it out.
for sure. Yeah, nachos, yeah, you dip it in. But then I mean, if we consider cereal pieces, we got to consider chips as
Got it.
part of, yeah, it's got to
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the possibilities are endless. Wow. I actually I am gonna type does soup have to be hot to be soup? Because that could be um kind of a deal breaker if AI. Yes, wow, they gave us temperature readings. Yes, most soups are designed to be served hot. Served hot, but who's stopping somebody from just eating Campbell's Chunky straight
Oh
out of the
yeah.
can?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, so what is chicken noodle soup if you don't even warm it up? Cereal?
Yeah, what are you going to call it?
Cereal, chicken noodle cereal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just wow. What about what about pickles in the jar?
First
That's
of all,
tough.
I'm not a pickle fan, so I would not even taste that. But but that could be
Is that
a
pickle
soup.
soup?
It could be a pickle soup. Because
Hmm.
that's not even like cold like milk. That's just like room temperature, right? Some people have it cold, probably.
Yeah, no, I think you put pickles in the fridge. Yeah,
Do you?
a lot
Okay.
of times. But I know on the store it's not in the fridge. It's
Yeah.
just like out on the aisle.
Yeah.
But I think after you open that bad boy, you're gonna want to throw it in the fridge,
Okay.
or else
Okay.
it's not gonna it's not
Yeah.
gonna be as good. Yeah. And then other cultures, pig's feet. Pig's feet come pickled
hmm
pig's feet, right?
Pickle, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Um, it's like, is that become soup too? The
Hmm.
possibilities again are endless, John.
Yeah.
This is a rabbit hole right here. It's real bad, especially for
It,
this show. It's really
it
bad.
is.
Like we could go for hours.
We could go, but I saw this topic and I was like, I gotta bring this up too because like I said, we could probably go for a long time discussing other foods that could be either this or that. But like I
Yeah.
said, cereal, I, I'm leaning more towards that it is soup because like I say, I've had in a Hispanic household, well, a lot of Hispanics could tell you it's tradition. You have 100 degrees outside, you're gonna have some soup. You're gonna be sweating it out. I'd prefer to have some cereal and call it soup and just say I had my soup for the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up. The whole reason I went to Trader Joe's before this podcast was
Yeah.
because I had to buy ingredients for
Oh.
Jen to make soup tomorrow.
Oh.
And we are well in the 90s
Oh.
where we're at in Cali. So it's yeah, the hot and I was like, of course, it's the hottest day of the year so far. And you want soup.
You want it.
So soup tomorrow
Yeah.
is what we're gonna get.
It's traumatizing. It's traumatizing as a kid having soup when it was hot. And
It
as an
is.
adult, it probably is just PTSD.
There you go.
But it's
Yeah,
tradition. It's tradition in a Hispanic household.
absolutely. It's like the running memes.
Hmm.
Um, real quick here too, John. I did say, is cereal soup? I should have asked that grand old question.
Yeah.
Whether cereal is soup is a debated topic, but technically it fits the definition of a cold, sweet soup.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
soup. I
Yeah.
think it's soup.
Yeah.
I think it's soup.
So
And I think a hot dog is a sandwich.
I'm still gonna debate that
That's
one.
dicey. Yeah, that's
That's a
dicey for
dicey
you.
one. I'm telling you. I consider it more of a taco than a sandwich.
And I get that too. I do get that too. Um,
But like you're changing my mind with the Italian subs type stuff like that because they don't break those up. It's a sub and they're sub sandwiches
yeah,
unless we start calling them sub tacos.
absolutely. Sub tacos. Yeah, that's right. Hey, question here for you. Actually, I have a little bit of follow-up on this hot dog. Uh, oh my God. This is actually going to be kind of funny the way I'm reading this. Uh, but I'm going to start a precursor here. Do you think New York is a big hot dog city?
I've never been to New York, so I can't really say, but from what I see in pictures, they or
Nathan's is there. Don't forget about that. The hot dog is.
Nathan's is there, which is a iconic hot dog. But it's like if you don't go to Nathan's, all the other hot
Mm,
dogs are the same.
mhm.
I would say it's big, but LA is bigger. The street
Got it.
dog is king.
Yeah, that's true.
And LA and Cali does it the best. I think
Mhm.
a lot of places are doing it a lot more now, but Cali is king for that. New York, I'll give them the pizza. They got the
Yeah,
pizza.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I was younger and we go to concerts, anything at Staples in and
Hmm.
around LA, even just walking the shopping alleys down there,
Yeah.
um, I would eat one right off right off the shopping cart.
Oh yeah.
Just right off.
The
And
way they used to do them before, like
oh,
health
dude.
inspectors coming, yeah, they were
Oh,
just grilling it off those Vons. Sometimes it was like
yeah.
big lot shopping carts. They were just grilling in there, all the grease on the bars, and
Yeah.
they said, "Well,
Yeah, no, my one big me and Jen's one big precursor is that we didn't want a dog that was sitting off to the side.
oh
We'd
yeah,
have to make sure they were actively cooking them
yeah,
because A, taste, and then B, yeah, I don't know how long those have been chilling, on the side
oh
of your
yeah,
cart there.
yeah,
So, but I've never had a problem. Never got
yeah,
even close to being sick. I just pure enjoyment is all I ever got out of
oh
it.
yeah,
But yeah, I agree with you. Cali definitely has the best hot dogs.
yeah."
That could be a big debate too. But as far as this goes, I looked up this hot dog fiasco with
Hmm.
sandwich. While many culinary experts in the National Hot Dog and Sausage
Oh,
Council, did you
okay,
know that was a thing? They
no.
call it the NHDSC. Wow, they even have an abbreviation.
Yeah,
This is
I need
crazy.
we need to go visit that building.
That would be great. That would be great. If they do tours, I'm going to look it up after the pod.
Yeah.
Uh, See if we can schedule a tour and we can film it. That would be
Yeah.
phenomenal. They argue it's not a sandwich, but legal entities like the New York State Department of Taxation often classify it as one. So it's kind
Okay.
of like, is it correct in the dictionary, or if
Yeah.
like in the real world,
Hmm.
is it a sandwich kind of thing?
Yeah.
You know? And it
Okay.
seems like
Interesting.
the hot dog and sausage cancel. I would probably believe a little bit more
Yeah.
than taxation,
Yeah.
because it's what they do.
Yeah.
Hot dogs and sausage. That is crazy. That is. Do they hire part time? Like that sounds kind of sick.
Hey, I'm willing to be a taste tester for new products.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our biggest thing would probably be just talking about like how can we get everybody on the Costco thing. A
Yeah.
buck 50 for that and a drink.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where's it at everywhere?
Yeah.
Why can't they do
Yeah.
it?
They'd make more money than what they're already making.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
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 To be
But
continued on that one, though.
yeah, for sure. But those are our banter takes. Agree or disagree? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us know how crazy we are, how much you agree with us. We always want to hear what you guys think every week. We appreciate the feedback, your guys' take. But we'll go into some NBA talk. Um, Playoffs on to the second round. I think big news that I didn't get to talk about last week, but Celtics losing. I think both of our favorites
Mm.
to win it all. Losing to Philly. Philly came up, showed up, being down 3-1 to win. Um, but then they just got spanked this last round.
Mm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw that series ended yesterday. I was shocked to see it was already over. That's
Yeah.
how fast it went. That's how quick that spanking was. I
Yeah.
was like, damn, it's already done.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to see them. And it wasn't even close. Like all those
Hmm.
games, they just got throttled. That Knicks team is, I think, the best Knicks team, arguably, of our lifetime.
Hmm.
You'd have to go back to Ewing days or,
Hmm.
to, maybe some of the Mellow days, not really.
Yeah.
But this team is fantastic. It's built well, and I think that they got the right coach with
Hmm.
Mike Brown. Um, but yeah, great series. Shocked about the Celtics.
Yeah.
Coming, 3-1 and then
Hmm.
end up losing that series. Yeah, I spoke a lot to kind of where they're at as a team right
Hmm.
now. I did talk a lot about last week with the Jaylen Brown,
Yeah.
taking it to,
Okay.
his live stream afterwards,
Yeah.
and basically, going after the NBA in general. I know we've exchanged some video clips of it and just, foul baiting, and Embiid, I guess, was at the precipice of all that last week. And um, I personally had no argument with Jaylen Brown. I think that we both kind of agree,
Hmm.
with that sentiment from him. But I can also see where people think he's coming off like a sore loser,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, you were up 3-1. Like you just
Yeah.
needed one more, and to do it at home to lose that game seven is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think he has a lot of straight facts and a lot of
Mhm.
evidence to show that there was probably some foul baiting and they got away with a lot that he didn't get away with, but it's part of the game. We see it with OKC, which we'll talk about a bit, but Jason Tatum not playing, was that a factor? And does it just really show that the team is still built around Jason Tatum, even though Brown probably thought it was his team the way they were playing when Jason Tatum was still recovering from his injury. So
Mhm.
we'll see what the Celtics do. East so far, Knicks, your favorite to make it to the finals?
At this point, yeah. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Detroit. They rely too much on Cade Cunningham. I was
Mhm.
saying last week, if they didn't have Cunningham, that would be the most mid team of all time.
Yeah.
He is the difference maker there. Cleveland, don't trust James Harden. I talked a lot about the James Harden effect and
Hmm.
how he's just mediocre, and he's been mediocre. I know he had a decent game recently, but that series is tied 2-2 at this point. I think Knicks fans are just hoping it goes seven and they wear themselves out, and then the Knicks have an even easier following
Hmm.
series. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely Knicks. I think that is a very well constructed team and a very good coach team.
Yeah. Yeah. I see the Knicks going through. I think it would have been a great series, Knicks versus Celtics, to see who would make it, but how much they would be battered for the next round, I think would have gave probably Cleveland, because I think they might get through this next round,
Mhm.
that chance to make it to the finals, and give James Harden that second chance at winning one, after his time in OKC. But yeah, I don't see Detroit or Cleveland beating the Knicks the way they're playing.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, we'll sort of see. And then out on the West, OKC still doing OKC stuff, foul baiting. You probably talked about it, but I think we're both a lot more on LeBron James' side. How the games have been
Mhm.
playing out against OKC versus the Lakers. OKC fans still, I see a lot of people, even like commenters, other reporters saying, back in the day, Jordan was getting to the line the same, Kobe was getting to the line the same. And yeah, they were getting to the line, but they were getting hard fouls. I think the type of fouls are totally different on opposite realms. What
Mhm.
Shea's doing compared to Kobe and Jordan. Yes, they were free throw merchants, you could say, but they were earning those free throws and those buckets were, first game, I think it was like first possession, Shea already was flopping that didn't even get called, first game. And I'm just like, I I don't get why people are still defending OKC.
Yeah. Yeah, he is by far and away the worst MVP I think I've ever seen. And I've said it before, he's a player who's talented enough he doesn't have to do this.
Yeah,
He has the talent. He can, in my opinion, average upper 20s points per game,
yeah,
be, a finalist for MVP without all this foul baiting. Of course, he's
yeah.
going to keep doing it because it's working,
Hmm.
but I will never see the side of OKC fans defending,
Yeah.
the foul baiting. Of course they're liking it because they're winning. Um,
Hmm.
but it's just so obvious and egregious. I see today he had 15 free throw attempts,
Hmm.
made 12 of them. And then he was -7 while on the floor. He didn't even, but
Yeah.
because of all the free throws, it condensed it down and made it more beneficial for him.
Hmm.
Um, Altogether, yeah, he had like 15 of 24 of OKC's attempts.
Hmm.
Um, there's another game, I think it was the game before this one, the game three, where I think even Reddick talked about it. I think he was like something like 8 of 22 shooting, Shea, but he still had like 10 free throw attempts to
Hmm.
kind of get him through and still get over 20 points or whatever.
Hmm.
And it's so awful to watch. We talked about this even before the playoffs, like what a bad product it is. And it's like, dude, there's zero enjoyment in watching a guy go up there, not even aim towards the basket and flop, try to shove himself into
Hmm.
places. And then other teams are trying to replicate those fouls and not get the calls.
Yep.
That's the other thing. And I did talk about last week with, the huddle that the Lakers had with the refs before going into the half. And they talked about, Austin Reeves, was kind of at the forefront of it.
Hmm.
And yeah, if you have me siding and agreeing with LeBron or Dylan Brooks in the playoffs,
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's this because I think they have it exactly right, along with Jaylen Brown. So,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, when we've always called LeBron James one of the bigger floppers, in the league, defending him against probably now the biggest flopper, it shows that this game is just going away, and what the product of the NBA isn't what it was back, even probably like 5, 10 years ago. I
mhm.
think it was a lot better. What's been happening? It's just a disgrace. I don't want to say disgrace. That's a harsh word, but just a disappointment for the NBA because, like I say, I haven't really watched it as much because I just don't want to watch flopping. It's just not interesting to me. It just throws away the momentum of the game, and it's just not fun. So, yeah, like I say, I haven't been watching it as much. I probably watch more highlights on TikTok to get my basketball fix. And I think the only time I will watch it is when I get the alerts on my Apple TV that there's a close game. I look at what the
Mhm.
score is and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this last bit. After that, I'm like, I'm not going to watch majority of the game. I just want to see the end and sort of see game winners, things like that. But that's that one game. Other series in the West, Timberwolves Spurs. That's a tough matchup. Wemby getting ejected from the game. The, he, if he doesn't get ejected, they win that game for sure.
Mhm.
They're up 3-1. But it's going to be a tough battle. My concern is they're going to go seven. OKC is already through to the Western Conference Finals. They're going to be depleted. And with all the foul baiting OKC does, it might not be as entertaining, but I think Spurs are the one team I think could take down OKC out of these two.
I completely agree. Yeah, I don't think the Wolves have it in them. Obviously, that tough injury for Anthony Edwards that he had in the last series. He did come back rather quickly. I was kind of shocked to see, how
Yeah.
involved he's been so far in this series. Obviously them winning game four, it's now tied 2-2. Like you said, I agree. I think if Wemby was still in that game, they win it. Um, and that's kind of tough. I hope, you know, for the fact that, I'd enjoy seeing either team make it because I think that Wemby has that competitive spirit with the Spurs, and then I think Anthony Edwards has that competitive spirit for the Wolves.
Hmm.
And the Wolves being your dark horse team, that was, I mean, phenomenal pick because look how
Yeah.
well they're doing. But I think that the cast alongside Wemby with the Spurs is better than what Anthony Edwards has with the Wolves. It's not by
Hmm.
a zillion, but it's a decent margin. I just think
Yeah.
that the Spurs are a really well put together team. And then I did talk about it last week, and I'll talk about it again. I think Wemby still has it out for
Chet.
OKC and Chet. Like it's
Yeah.
it's like that dude wants revenge. And I think that would be such a great series to watch.
Hmm.
And I would love every bit of it. That
Yeah.
might I don't think it would necessarily get me to fully tune in for a game, but if it's close, like you said,
Hmm.
I'll definitely be
Yeah.
more glued to it and paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah, I think we'll probably watch more of like the first game, the second game, and sort of
Mhm.
see how the fouls are going, see what it's looking like, these referees, these zebras, what they're doing. And if it's pretty fair, we'll probably stick to it. I think if I start seeing too much Shea stuff or, vice versa, it's where I'm sort of gonna be like, all right, I'll just wait to sort of see what you guys are doing in the fourth,
Mhm.
before I tune in. So but like I say, for me, I want to see San Antonio get out of this, go to the final. San Antonio Knicks, that'll be a pretty good final. Competitive,
Mm.
hard
Yeah,
fighting.
completely agree. Yeah, I think both teams are kind of formed in a way that, would make it very even. I think that it would be, each have pretty deep benches,
Hmm.
and just players who haven't been in that setting yet. It's teams that, they're both hungry, they're both
Hmm.
wanting, a ship of their own. So, and especially I think it's fun. Like, earlier you talked on about the Knicks fan base. The Knicks in the finals, like
Dude,
that's electric.
it'd be amazing. Like I say, them winning it, like I say, them winning it, Arsenal winning. uh, I will tell you, if that happens, they both win it. I'll say it here right now. It's not my hot take for the year. Cowboys are winning it.
Oh, wow.
That's how crazy the
Dang.
universe. That's how crazy the universe would be if this happens.
I hope that happens. I hope that happens now. That'd be so great because then come NFL season, I'm just going to be thinking about those cowgirls. And it's like, man, woo,
Yeah,
wow.
but
Cowboys Nation going
yeah.
crazy.
And not my official hot take, but a possible hot take for you guys,
It's a good tease.
if they would. But yeah, that's playoffs, and then I think the only other NBA news draft lottery happened yesterday.
Mhm.
Wizards getting that number one pick. Um, I think what I was excited about, Clippers. We got a first rounder this year. We got the number five from Indiana. They
Yep.
had us be at number five, six, or seven for us to get the pick. I'm happy with number five. I'm glad. Um, I think biggest loser this night, Indiana, because it's pretty much they gave up that. We traded the number one and a future number one and a second rounder for Zubac.
Yep.
So sweet
You guys
for
made
us.
off really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you guys did awesome. Yeah, and it proved that once Zubats left, the Clippers looked really good. You had a
Hmm.
great second half of the season.
Hmm.
And then, you guys have Garland, you have Mathurin now. I feel like that there's a lot to build off of.
Hmm.
With the core of Kawhi. Obviously, he's getting up there in age, but it's going to be a good team. And then you guys get the number 5 overall pick. Probably can get somebody pretty decent there,
Hmm.
somebody very good, obviously there. But
Yeah.
it's turned out to be a great deal for you guys. With the Warriors, number 11 sucks. I feel like if you don't get top 5 in an NBA draft at this point, these NBA drafts really aren't that deep anymore, in my opinion. And
Hmm.
it's just like hope for the best with, your pick after
Yeah.
that. It's really tough to find sure shot players going that far in the draft. Um, but 11, I think that they early things, predictions have us drafting some forward out of, I think, the New Zealand League or
Okay.
some other league. But again, I'll take a big, it'd be pretty
Yeah.
nice. And then when it comes to the number 1 pick with Washington, that's a team that needs a number 1 pick. They've
Hmm.
been horrendous for a long time. I think it's odd that Anthony Davis then goes to the Wizards and then they magically get a number 1 pick like he
Yeah.
did when he was in Dallas. They
Yeah.
magically got it. So it's like it follows him. And then they have Trey Young.
Hmm.
And then they have Sar,
Hmm.
previous top pick. There's a lot to build off of with that team. And then if you put AJ Debinyansa in there, beast. But what I'm hearing is Utah really wants him. I think there's a lot of people in the state of Utah that don't want him to leave Utah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of talk. Will Utah trade up to number 1? But I think the Wizards, let's say you get Ace Bailey, let's say you get,
Hmm.
a few other pieces. Jaren Jackson's a possibility. Imagine adding those pieces, but still getting the number 2 pick. The number 2 pick, I mean, you're looking at Cam Boozer,
Hmm.
you're looking at, a lot of top picks.
Yeah.
Uh, I think there's somebody predicted to go above Cam Boozer, right? For number 2.
Yeah, there
Oh,
is
Darren
someone.
Darren Peterson out of
Hmm.
Kansas,
Yeah.
who's phenomenal. But yeah,
Hmm.
there's Acuff is up there,
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah. So I don't know if, and I guess I'll ask you, John, if you're the Wizards and let's say you can get some type of package from Utah, would you do it?
Yeah. I would because you got Anthony Davis and Trey Young who still are great players. So you
Mhm.
got Sar, you got Canton George. I think he's there. Like I say, and if you could still stay in the top 5, get some other players in return, you're still solid, you know. I think it's worth it, see what Utah's gonna offer, you know. I think they're gonna be so desperate they're gonna give it way too much. They're gonna overpay for this player, which,
Yep.
like I say, kudos to them. He stays home, a hometown kid. It's a great story, but what Utah has been developing, man, it's tough. You're gonna have to give up something, or you're gonna have to give up future number ones, and if it doesn't work out, you're pretty much done for a few years. Because, like I say, for us, we gave up so many number ones. We could have had 2 in the top 12. Our number 12 pick going to OKC,
Hmm.
which I'm glad it's number 12. A lot of people say we were going to have the worst luck at the number 1 pick and it was going to go to OKC, which
Hmm.
would have completely sucked. But
Oh yeah.
like I say, uh, yeah, with the 5, I I've thrown it out there in my head. I wouldn't mind trading Kawhi to the Wizards, getting that number 1 pick, packaging something else, and maybe having 2 number 1 picks in the top 5 this year.
Yeah.
Rebuild.
There you go. Dang. That'd be pretty sweet too. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess this draft is looking pretty decently deep if you
Hmm.
go, down to
I,
about
I
10,
I I
11,
think
12.
it's one of the deepest drafts in the last few years
Yeah.
with the type of players that they have coming out. So,
Yeah.
like I say, I think with Golden State package something with Draymond. move up,
That'd be sweet.
you
Guy
know.
talks a lot.
Yeah. Or trade him to Atlanta. Get your guy back, get Kaminga back, you know.
Yeah,
Offer the buffets. Don't be stingy with the buffets, you guys.
that's the problem. Yeah, we can't be stingy with the buffets. And I get why Kaminga was mad about that. You
Yeah.
know, we're a big buffet podcast, big
Yeah.
advocates. You know, offer
Mhm.
it and make it unlimited. No point of to a buffet if
Yeah.
it's not. Um, but I'm looking here at number 11. I was wrong. It's actually a player out of Mexico,
Ooh.
rumored at number 11. Karim Lopez. He's a 6'9" forward. I'm gonna have to look up his highlight film. Um, I'm interested. I going into these drafts, it might just be me, but I know a lot more about like these collegiate players versus, a lot of these international
Yeah.
players. When we went back and drafted a player like Kaminga previously, like, I didn't know a whole lot, but I just know that he was an absolute beast and he was young and,
Mm-hmm.
but we just never gave him a freaking chance. Um, but that very well could be a possibility. But I will say if Yaxel Lendenborg from Michigan is still available there, dude's a beast. I,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting him too.
Mm-hmm.
But at 5, I mean, if Darius Acuff is around as a guard,
Mm-hmm.
that's tempting. Is there any particular position you'd like the Clippers to go?
No, I not at the moment. I have to look into our roster. Like I say, this season, I
Yeah.
haven't. And I'll be honest, it's a disappointment as a Clipper fan. I haven't really been into them.
Yeah.
Disappointed with what they were doing, some of their trades. Um, felt like it was just a lost season. So, having the number five pick, it's exciting because, like I said, we haven't had a number one pick, I feel like, in a
Hmm.
century, the last like 20 years. We just keep on trading them, which I think were we've been dumb about it. So having this, I think we have another late rounder in the first round. And then I think we have a second rounder. So we have three prospects this year. I'm gonna say it's a
Hmm.
good draft class. So hopefully this is the start. I've read rumors Cam Johnson, we might trade for him. He wants out of the Brooklyn. Yeah, but I think Kawhi is part of that package, possibly.
Yep.
But like I say, hey, if we need a forget that number six pick, 5'6" plus Cam Johnson. Yeah, we get rid of Kawhi, who probably is the biggest difference maker, and he'll probably go wherever and win a championship, and I will be mad about it. But it's our
Yep.
rebuild. It's our rebuild.
There you go. Yeah, stockpile now. Yeah. I mean, do you think, like, would you be willing to get rid of Kawhi plus your number 5 overall pick to move up to 3 with Memphis? Like, would you think a player like Cam Boozer would be worth it?
I would need more.
Yeah,
I would
likewise.
need more.
Ja
Like I say,
Morant.
I'll pass. I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But the bright lights of Hollywood are just too much.
Yeah.
That's just asking for too much
You don't
drama.
want to be doing this from the stands, like with the.
Nah, we'd be
Yeah.
doing like a bazooka.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to change it up. There you go.
Oh, yeah, no, like I said, only place I'd probably move up is number one,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't give, like I say, it's like giving up the five and then probably someone, not Kawhi, someone else, a role player,
Hmm.
or giving up our second rounder and getting the number one and then having that, but.
Yep.
After that, I don't know. I don't see much Utah would give us. Utah's going for Washington, Memphis. There isn't anybody. Chicago. I don't know.
Yeah,
Not
Chicago's kind
much.
of lost. I feel like Chicago's a team where they have the number 4 pick and they could draft somebody good, but
Hmm.
still just not, you don't know their direction.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have some
I think
decent
that.
pieces, but
Yeah. I think a team that should sort of look into going into like that top five if they could get someone. Milwaukee. You got to give up
yeah.
Giannis for a number one pick. You know,
Yep.
you give Giannis to Washington. Imagine that. Giannis, AD, and Trey,
That could do it.
and if they're all healthy, and then just rebuild in Milwaukee. Start getting
Hmm.
those draft picks.
Yeah,
Mm.
for
Yeah.
sure. Probably keep the number 10 pick in a deal like that, right?
Yeah,
Giannis
yeah.
is that's it. So then Bucks could stockpile and
Mm-hmm.
kind of rebuild, like you said.
Yeah.
That might be a
Yeah.
direction too, because
Yeah.
as of today, there's an article that Bucks are looking at trade
Mm-hmm.
contenders for
Mm-hmm.
for Giannis. So
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
hope the Warriors somehow get in that sweepstakes,
Yeah.
though.
And even like Dallas, if Washington doesn't do it with Utah, get Kyrie.
There you go.
And then nine, and then Dallas going to number two, getting that
Yeah.
young guard. That's a young, dangerous team with the Mavericks.
Yeah. 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 No, absolutely. That's a very talented team as well. Cooper Flag,
Hmm.
man, there's a lot of
Yeah,
possibilities there.
yeah,
I do think that there will be trades though.
yeah. There will
I
be.
think deals are to be done.
Hmm.
Kings, lost cause, don't know what they're gonna
Hmm.
do. But one thing I saw today, did you know Indiana has never had a number one overall pick and never traded and obtained a number one overall pick ever? There's never been a number one pick within that franchise.
That's just bad.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Terrible luck and
yeah.
just
It's
no
just
deals, I
unfortunate.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because like I say, they're this next season they got nothing to build off of, and they got their guy coming back from injury. You
Yeah.
know, it's unfortunate. If they would have had like the number one, two pick, man, that'd be the team to sort of look at next year.
Hmm. Yeah, because they would have their big three, right?
Yeah, Hallie,
Zubats, Hallie, and the other. Yeah,
AJ, yeah,
they're drafty. Yep, AJ.
yeah,
Man,
yeah,
crazy. I do
yeah.
think AJ is going to be very talented, but I
Hmm.
do definitely see Utah trying to go up there with the
Yeah,
Wiz. And I think the
yeah,
Wiz ask for a lot.
they do. I would, I would,
I would too.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's NBA. We'll see how this next week of playoff games go. We'll probably get into the conference finals by the time we
Hmm.
come back on Monday. But
WNBA has been entertaining. Shout out, WNBA getting back on the floor.
yeah,
Contracts all figured out. Some crazy moves. Haley Van Lith, I think, went to Connecticut. Sorry,
yeah,
quick WNBA minute
yeah,
here, John. Caitlin Clark, first game back from injury this
yeah.
season. I believe lost to Dallas and Paige Beckers.
Hmm.
But Aussie Fudd there now, so it's a fun
Hmm.
team. Caitlin Clark looked good, put up 20.
Yeah,
Beckers put up 20. HVL, yep, went to Connecticut. Don't know how they'll be. Chicago rebuild for sure
shit,
because got rid
yeah.
of HVL
Yeah.
and Reese.
Yeah, recent a trade. Chicago did pretty well, I think, in their pickups, even their draft picks. Um,
Hmm.
the HVL Haley Van Lith getting released, that was a surprise because
Yeah.
she's a star, Olympic
Hmm.
champion in the 3v3. So them dropping her, who knows why? But hey, she got picked up quick, and it's the
Hmm.
one thing I've seen with the WNBA. I think the Valkyrie again, number
Kate
first round
Martin.
pick, got
Oh
dropped,
yeah.
right?
Yep. That
And
too.
then
Yep.
last year too, first round, or I don't know if it was first or second round, but the pick they picked that everybody was so excited about got dropped. Eventually did come back, but
Chen, right?
yeah, Chen,
Yep.
you know,
And then they picked her back up later, which was odd. And
yeah,
then Kate Martin this year
yeah,
released, and she's already picked up by the Sparks.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I'm curious why or how it goes, but yeah, it makes for interesting moves. We'll see how it goes.
mhm.
Um, like I say, I think there's going to be a lot of combos of the money. Let's see how much money they actually do make, and if it's
Yeah.
a better year for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. shout out Kelsey Plum for taking $999,999. Saved your team some money there. Good work. Thought we could pick up Kate Martin on a developmental contract. I'm sure she's getting paid more than $1, but
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, a lot of parity so far, a lot of movement within the WNBA, and quite frankly, it's a better product than the NBA, I guess,
It is.
at the moment.
At the moment it is.
Yeah,
At the moment it is. So, but yeah,
crazy.
the WNBA, we'll see how that season continues to go.
Yep.
Um, and then sort of just to end, I know we're gonna do some movie talk. Tim shared before, we came to recording. He is rewatching Star Wars with his wife,
Hmm.
getting her into it. Did you guys start getting ready for a Mandalorian movie coming out in a few weeks?
For sure. Yeah, I talked with Jen about it today. Hopefully we'll figure out some babysitting stuff so that way we can go enjoy that movie because but also I gotta try to sneak in us watching everything before the 22nd.
Mhm.
And Mandalorian, couple seasons to kind of go through there.
Yeah.
I've absolutely loved it. It's my favorite Disney Plus extra, type of deal there. I've enjoyed all of them, but I
Mhm.
feel like this one in particular is fantastic. Really excited for the film. Got to get her to watch it before, but I'm just overall super ecstatic for her to, really be into it and wanting to watch it. And she's like, really all about it. Like she's just been phenomenal. Like it's been great. I've even brought up the
Oh,
Darth
nice.
Vader fucking nerd alert. Last, last time we went to Disneyland a couple weeks ago, I they offered this was like $18. They're like, "Oh, do you want the lightsaber stirring stick?" I'm like,
Yeah.
of course I fucking want that.
They gotta ask.
Yeah. But super cool. Darth Vader was out and about
Yeah.
over there instead of
Yeah.
what's his face?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And then of course gonna go with the dark side there. Awesome. But yeah, no, overall in to kind of put in a precursor here, we know we've talked about it, like which way, if you haven't seen it before, would you watch the movies?
Mhm.
Jen elected to watch it episode one forward. She didn't
Okay.
go old school. She just decided to watch it in order,
Yeah.
the
Which
events,
it's
and
okay.
totally. And it's
Mm.
it's been nice for me actually because I watched it obviously the other way around.
Yeah.
And watching it this way is pretty awesome.
Hmm.
But another thing is I kind of got more into the hate for Anakin and the just the hate overall for Hayden Christensen. I feel like it's totally unnecessary. Hayden
Yeah.
Christensen, in my humble opinion, was a phenomenal actor for
Yeah.
Anakin.
Yeah.
And the only thing I do see looking back at episode one, which is one of my favorites. It gets a lot of hate, but I love that
Hmm.
one. Um, I do see like the time lapse of Anakin being a little rushed
Hmm.
in how he turns into Darth. I think mainly it's in what episode three, right? Where, he kind of makes the full turn. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it. Watch it. It's been years. But I see where episode three, he can sound a little bit whiny. He can sound a little bit
Hmm.
this and that and the other, and then it's just kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Don't know your thoughts on it, John. If you felt the same or.
Yeah, I think that's what it was a lot. I think it was just how they portrayed the characters from episode, close to the end of episode two to episode three. But that's sort of where you have to watch Rebels, the cartoon
Mhm.
one, because
Okay.
that really tells his story and it gives you a lot more. And I think that's sort of why nowadays people respect Hayden Christensen for his,
Mm.
Anakin Skywalker. I think they finally recognized it because when the movies came out, it was a lot of hatred towards him. Felt like it wasn't the best casting. I I didn't mind it. Like I say, I under the whininess. Yeah, like it was like, oh man, yeah, too mature. But
Hmm.
it's like it was part of the movie. He played the role, I think, perfectly. And when you see it now, he was the best. like I said, you could say there's could be a lot of other people, but he did amazing. And like I say, he deserves his flowers for what he did back then. And then like I say, even coming back now, like I say, being an Obi-Wan, be you know, if you watch their fight scenes, man, they still got it, man.
Yeah.
All these years later, they still know how to fight with that lightsaber, and it's insane. So it showed he put so much into this character and him. I think it was like a few years ago at one of the Star Wars celebration, I think here in Anaheim, where everybody really cheered him on. And if you
Hmm.
watch the video, you can see him getting teary-eyed, where he
Yep.
finally got the recognition. And I think it was a good moment for him. But I think it for you to understand, the turn in a lot of it, you have to watch Star Wars Rebels. But like I say, it is a long season of that of that animated series.
Yeah, I definitely will watch it because, yeah, I think any sort of backstory that would kind of prove a little bit more, of the turn of events for Anakin
Hmm.
would be good to know and good to watch and
Hmm.
understand. Which also would kind of bring me into wanting to watch Maul. I kind of already want to watch that because it looks like a
Yeah,
great series. We've shared some clips on it.
yeah.
Um, and then speaking of Darth Maul, finding out a lot more about his actor and how he's trained in what Taekwondo,
Hmm.
and they had to slow down the scenes of him
Yeah,
fighting because he's so good. And I
yeah.
guess he played the stunt position so well that they ended up just giving him the full Maul character and
Yeah.
that he executed it perfectly.
Hmm.
What a badass. And I also
Yeah.
saw like a funny meme this week of, you know, you as a 7-year-old or a youngster, watching episode one in theaters, and then you see Maul unveil his lightsaber, and it was like, you're just like in awe of like, the two ends, and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
badass,
yeah.
it's
Because it's like at first you think it's just a regular lightsaber because it's just one side and he's
yeah.
holding it like that, but then that other one comes on. It's just like blows your mind when we were kids.
So sick. Yeah, so
uh,
badass. And that's what makes episode one so freaking awesome.
hmm. Yeah.
In rewatching it, because it's been years since I've done so, it just kind of brings you a new enjoyment to all of this.
Mhm.
And then we rewatched episode four is kind of where we're at now.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
Episode four, going back, obviously to what, the '70s, right?
Hmm.
Late '70s. The cinematography, I know it's probably been like retexturized and stuff a tad,
Hmm.
phenomenal. Like
Hmm.
they were so far ahead
Oh,
with
they
those
were.
films.
Yeah.
My good grief. Like
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. No, they did so great with it, and I think that's why made it such a fan favorite back in the day. Everybody wanted to watch Star Wars. Once they saw that one, Star Wars was just a hit, you know. It could have been a disaster and it would have never it wouldn't be its own studio, its own like long series of so many movies, TV shows, animations, so what they did back then, what George Lucas did, incredible, and that's why he's
Yep,
one of the great directors and producers, creators ever.
for sure. No, absolutely. And then I've in turn with, looking up stuff, like, the details, the smaller details of the films
Hmm.
that you kind of watch from rewatching
Hmm.
or gather from rewatching. A lot of my FYP is now filled with Star Wars stuff. Yeah, badass. I love it that
uh,
way. Hope it continues. But it brought me back to the Darth Vader, in one of the newer films, him getting on the ship and it's all dark in the hallway, and
hmm.
you see his lightsaber light
Oh
up, and then
yeah.
you see him walk through and use the Force. And
Oh yeah.
I think it gets chills talking about it. It's so sick. I think that scene has the most aura
Hmm.
of the entire Star Wars campaign. That's just
It
me.
does.
There's other moments that are fantastic, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but something about that scene, like the
Yeah.
fear of those guys, like
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah, I think it's that scene for me, and then the scene in episode three where they're just the battle,
Yeah,
that last battle. Those two scenes are the most memorable for me in the Star Wars movies franchise,
Hmm.
to date, you know. So
Yeah. I was like not even watching the movie. I was just like giving a dead stare at Jen. The scene
hell,
where Anakin makes the jump and he's like, "I have the high ground, don't
yeah,
do it." And he does it and he gets all the limbs shot.
yeah,
Spoiler alert. I was just watching her like for her reaction.
yeah,
I started laughing.
that's funny.
See stuff like that. That's why it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Um, so that absolutely iconic.
yeah,
Great scenes.
no, yeah, no, great scenes. Like I say, the first six in the trilogy, 1 through 6, amazing.
Yep.
The last three could have done better. I think they were putting too much into it. I think
Yeah.
The Force Awakens, the first one, is probably the best. Second one, I'll be honest, when I saw the second one, I fell asleep during it. And that third one,
Hmm.
some great scenes, but overall, did not like it. Like I said, it could have done better. Um, they revived Star Wars, I think, with Grogu and The
Yep.
Mandalorian. I think that sort of brought a revival, the cartoons or the animation ones. And then, like I said, for me, Rogue One, the movie, probably one of the next in my top movies of Star Wars. And then TV show, like I say, I like The Mandalorian a lot. Like I like Andor a lot better. I don't know
Got
why.
it.
And Andor's amazing.
Andor's very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you for liking it. I think that
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I feel like it's endless. I feel like there's so much more for me to continue to watch and kind of catch up with. When it comes to Star Wars, obviously these animated series are going to be a big part of it. Um, Love it. It's always
Yeah.
good stuff. And then to have Jen get into it,
Yeah.
perfect timing.
It's always good. Yeah. Like I said, it's perfect timing for The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out end of the month. But yeah, and one of the things what we're gonna do probably next week is we're gonna do what we did last year. So we had our summer movie challenge where we each pick 5 movies coming out during the summer, and we're gonna sort of see who gets the biggest box office hits.
Hmm.
So there's quite a few movies coming out, and we're gonna start with The Weekend of The Mandalorian will be an option, all the way through. I think it's about end of July. I think July 31st is the last one. So
Nice.
we'll sort of go over that. We'll have the movies, and we'll sort of see who wins the summer movie. I know last year I think I beat you for. I think I got close towards the end, but I think I took a good
Yeah.
lead.
Yeah. No, it was my first round draft pick.
Yeah,
I went what Fantastic Four, you went Superman.
Superman.
Um Idiot. Clear rookie move. I know and then I went Jurassic Park and then I watched that fucking movie and have done nothing but roast it ever since. For no good reason, just roasting it. And
Yeah,
yeah, it had
yeah,
its moments, but the way that fucking dinosaur looked, I see why it didn't do well. Like,
yeah,
let's make this, combined dino. It's like, dude,
yeah,
let's just have Godzilla at that point. Might as well.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, so a lot of fun. I feel like this year, I think I've built quite a foundation in my brain
yeah,
when it comes to movies. Thanks to having a savant like yourself on
yeah,
here, helps quite a bit. So hopefully, comeback tour starts this year. We'll see.
yeah,
It'll be tight. It'll be close. But excited. It's a
yeah.
fun series to go through.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll prep you guys. And like I say, you guys could join us, pick your top 5, see what you guys think.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, but that's today's episode. Banter on the Rocks. Thank you everybody for listening as always. Your guys' support always helps us going. As always, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, uh anywhere, everywhere.
Yep.
We always appreciate that love and support. Um, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you guys so much from the TikTok live to, watching the episode once it releases on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, just like John said. We appreciate each and every one of you. Stay tuned for, daily content. We post a lot of shorts on here, even spur of the moment things that could come up. We love talking about and discussing
Yeah.
with all of you. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll see you
See you.
next week.
Yeah. See
Peace.
you next week.